Yo, what's up, Lucas? I am getting all my stuff here. Yo, what's up, Not Bo Wickham? Welcome to the TikTok. I am getting all of the chat windows set up right now. It takes a few minutes. All of the chat windows. Whoa. It takes a few minutes because I have two. Yo, what's up, Joel? What's up, brother? But yeah, I have two YouTube windows I have to pull up: TikTok, X, and Kick. So it takes a while to get all of these going, but we are doing that right now. How's your day going, Joel? Hey man, I wanted to ask you as well. I don't know if you're still here or not, but my wife and I have considered homeschooling our children. I would love to know your experience as a student. Ooh. All right, we have TikTok, YouTube, and YouTube 2.0 set up. Let's go ahead and get X set up here. Lucas, how's your day going, brother? I'm here for $1 million described in your stream title. Whoo! Let's talk about how to get that $1 million, Maniac. Let's talk about how to get that $1 million. Okay, give me one sec here. Pulling up X, popping out chat. Let's go. Oh. Okay, I definitely have to make this smaller. Okay, lesson learned, lesson learned. All right, a little bit smaller here. What's up, Shadow? 14897, welcome. There we go. Life is good, Lucas. Life is good. I am getting over being sick. I'm blowing my nose a lot, but hey, we are having a good time. You know what I'm saying? We're having a good time. All right, let me pop up Kick, and then we are all done, and we're ready to go live. Who wants to see my face? Let's go. If you don't want to see my face, I apologize, but it's time for a face reveal. What is up, everybody? Everybody. That is Backstreet Boys. Rock your body. Everybody. Rock your body right. Do you know that song, Maniac? Backstreet's back. All right. All right, it's enough. That's enough. That's quite enough. Okay, I think I have everything loaded up now. I wish there was an easier way to get all of these chat windows set up. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild how much effort it takes to have this. All right, let's see here. All right, let's estimate 7.5%. 20 years. Monthly contribution. Zero. Yo, what's up, Alex? Welcome. Wait, we have games today? Hold up. What are you talking about, Maniac? What are you talking about? Wait, is this the stuff in EWC? Wait, I haven't even been paying attention to this. Oh, that's right. So when does Tier 2 America start? So these are 6. That's why I have been avoiding or not being able to see these games. Let's go back to... That's not it. 1 o'clock? Okay, let's do it. Wait. Aw, man. Chet's Pets is a pretty funny name. Marved? I don't know Marved was on this team. Yeah, this is gonna be a banger, man. We might have to flip everything to Valorant after that. We'll see. So this is at 1 o'clock? Nice. I love when there's Valorant to watch during a stream. Oh, I love it. Alright, let's look at the difference here. So, if $500 a month for the next 20 years will get you to $259 at 7.5% interest. If we double this to 1,000, it should be 500, right? 518. Okay. But most of the kids I'm talking to, yo, what's up, Jaden? Jaden, duh. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. Billie Eilish, anybody? Anybody? All right, how does this show up on the vertical stream? Yeah, that works. That works, baby. Dude, this, sorry, Maniac. I'm in a mood today, brother. I'm in a mood today. A good mood today. So I'm just a little bit goofy. I'm in a mood today. Good. Hey, what are these Twitch drops? Get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions? Free Advice Guy has enabled drops for the community. Support with subscriptions and claim the rewards. Ends on May 25th. Okay, let's view these details. Purchase 2 recurring or gift subscriptions to claim the reward 30 days of unlimited anime. All right. Is that what Crunchyroll is? Anime? Oh, yo, what's up, Soft? All right, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right, give me 1 sec. I did not refill my drink. I'm going to go refill that. Has anyone asked for the $1 million yet? Maniac did. And we're getting here. So hold on. I have it ready to go. Hold on. Before, I'm going to change this in a second. I have 20 years right now. But like if an 18-year-old kid comes in, he can't invest $2,000 a month. So I'm trying to finagle this for kids to understand. So when they come in. So give me some test stuff to run and I'll update it. Give me right back. I'll be right back. I'm grabbing a drink. I forgot my Sprite Zero Cherry or whatever it is. Yo. I love this calculator, Soft. All right, hold on. Let's go. I love this calculator. This calculator is the best. All right. Let's go 30 years. Let's see here. So we could get about it's in six $400,000 things. So we need like three. Wait, will that get us back to this? Hey. All right, let's figure this out. Let's go 900. Not far enough. Too much. Too much. I got a headache and it's not a tumor. All right, we're going to call that one good. We're going to call that one good. No, they really do not. I think it's easier illustrated in bonds than it is in stocks, right? Because they're going to pay you a coupon, which is going to buy more shares, which is going to get you more of a coupon or more interest, which is going to get you more shares. But even with that, I think you're right. People don't understand. People don't understand. Man, imagine this. Daily. Oh, okay, it's not that much different. Go back to annually. There we go. All right. Do you think... I wonder if I should do a video on compound interest. Just to simplify it. Compounding in layman's terms. But do you think these numbers are good? Do you think if an 18-year-old kid comes in here and sees this, he's going to be excited or upset? Because I think this is going to be, for any 18-year-old, is going to be the hard part. Even though this is very easy when you start to make your, and you'll blow this out of the water when you start to make actual money. Compounding is the most powerful force in America. Man, I really want to watch this. I actually like Winthrop too. Yeah, it's definitely different. Dude, I can't believe he's playing on this roster. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay. let's get to. Okay, so hold on. I'm just trying to think. How can I make this better for kids to understand? I think this chart is amazing for people to see as well. What is show table? Oh. Every kid has a mentality they want to get rich now. That's very true, Soft. That's very true. At what point? See, you know what's funny, Soft? I've always thought this about you. You're young, but you have a rational head on your shoulders. Like, how did, how and when did it like sink into you that getting rich quick is not likely? All right. So at about year 19, this is when your money has doubled. You've gotten double what you've put in. And then it's just more and more from there. Man. It's very true. I would say it's close to impossible. And I would say that more as a behavior driver than anything, but all right. Dow Jones. Man, am I going to be able to edit TikTok and stuff? Oh, I can. All right. I wonder how many people would go broke trying to prove that it's not impossible. That would be really sad. That'd be really sad. Man, but look at these guys. Imagine you bought this yesterday. You decided to throw your life savings at these guys. And now you're 80% richer. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. Or imagine you bought this yesterday. Oh, I really like this price here for protogenic therapeutics. I'm going to buy it. Bam! It gets crushed today. Man, where's Lucas at? Lucas came in for a minute. I wanted to talk with him about United Health, United Healthcare, UNH. All right, Europe was up today. Look at this goofy headline they still have up. I'm surprised they haven't gotten rid of this. 2.5 months old, looks terrible. Their gainers and losers are never the same. All right, Asia market's mostly up, except for this one. Let's see what this is actually. Is this India? The BSE index or Sensex index? India, there we go, yep. I did not know that. Austin, welcome to the TikTok. All right, check out cryptocurrencies. Woo! Remember when this was down to like 78 not that long ago? GR, welcome. Stock slide. Bro. World of Juice, welcome. Welcome to the TikTok, brother. Man, United Health Group just keeps moving up. Yeah, they really would. It's tough, man. All these kids think that it's possible to get rich quick. And it's true, you might pick that one random meme coin that will 16 times itself, but it's just not likely. It's just not likely. Exactly, Maniac. I'm gonna put $100 in, and I'm gonna retire. Yo, what's up, Dark? Thanks for the raid, brother. How's the stream? And what did you stream? Oh man, BNGO. Look at this soft. Hey, no worries, Dark. Have a good one, brother. Ooh, Warcraft 2. All right. I appreciate the raid, brother. Have a good one. TGSHT coin. Soft. Man, it's funny on Twitter. You got people who love hymns, dude. They think it's going to like go crazy high. This one too. I saw somebody predicting this was going to be $700 before the end of the year. I don't know if that's true or not, but that'd be wild. I feel like we have to watch this, Soft. What do you think? Chet's Pets versus TSM? Really? You think so? But they got Marved and Victor. Yeah, I don't know. These guys do seem better. 7, GMD, Sim. I don't know Recoil. I think I know Vora. Maybe I don't. I don't know. They're old guys like me, bro. They can't be pros. They're old like me. You gotta get out of here, bro. This is a young man's game. Personal Finance still up here? Of course not. The Thunder, Pacers, or T-Wolves will win a title before our Suns. Yeah. Oh. These things are too serious. Time to get to Personal Finance. Let's see what this gets us to. All right, I apologize. I need to go blow my nose, and I'm not going to do this on stream. All right. How much cash is too much to hold on to? Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, he posted in the thing. Ty's been so I don't know, missing. I don't know how to describe it, but I saw that he posted a picture driving on his way to graduation, I think, or at least maybe they don't do graduation during the day, right? It's gonna be at night. The graduation starts at 10 a.m. Wow, I'd actually prefer that. My graduation was at night, 7 a.m. Wow, yeah, mine was at night. I actually like that change. I wish mine was during the day, because then I could go hang out with my friends. Let's take a look here. I've been reading through different posts related to this topic and find myself getting confused on the best next steps for my specific situation. So I appreciate any advice. Hey, it's free, no worries. I started my Roth IRA in Vanguard back in 2021 and had it in VU and another one of their top ETFs mutual funds. I don't remember, but it was based on research of best funds. Oh, okay, best funds. Yeah, I wonder what went into that. How do they decide what the best funds were? Around 2023, I was introduced to an Edward Jones financial advisor and didn't really know what I was getting into there and moved my money over to their platform. He was helpful in answering some general questions, but after realizing that I was losing a lot in fees for not much gain, I decided I should move back to Vanguard. I'd have to know about that because while Vanguard is my favorite, Edward Jones, depending on the account types, really shouldn't have that high of fees, but it depends on your funds. I did the in-kind transfer and moved my funds over. There was one mutual fund that required liquidating, but this was a low amount. Everything else was transferred over to Vanguard's in-kind funds. That's not... In-kind means the same fund. You're transferring over in-kind, meaning you're transferring a fund from one institution to another. Oof. This guy's in trouble. These are not in kind. He's using wrong terminology here, but if he wants to get into VU, he's going to have to sell everything and buy VU. That's rough. Ooh, poor kid. Poor kid. Hey, what's up, Luminous? Wait, Luminexus? Welcome. Welcome to the TikTok. Man, working out of state and doing taxes stinks. If you spend too many days in certain states, they make you claim them, and you got to pay full tax, full state tax on their stuff. Some days it's as low, or some states it's as low as like 20 days or something like that. Yo, what's up, Eamon? Oh man. My wife sent me something. My husband just got a new job, so we moved and sold a house. We are currently temporarily living in his great grandmother's home on his parents' property. It's tiny. It's very old and musty, not a fantastic situation. We have about 15K from the house that we sold. But our issue is that even with that down payment, we can't make the estimated mortgage payments on anything above like 130. Yep, that is tough. So trying to decide what to do, how to invest the money we have, and how to be wise over the next 1 to 2 years, something better. We have crowd health, so have to be saving for health emergencies. We haven't had an emergency fund since our kids were born. We don't have any debt except for car debt. Here's what I need: advice on what to do with that house money and any... Man. Sorry, I'm responding to this here. Yo, what's up, Joel? Hey, Joel, did you hear my question from earlier? Willie Bean, welcome. Welcome to the TikTok. You know what? I'm actually going to see what my TikTok looks like. All right. So TikTok is a different beast for sure. Man, I'm getting a couple of comments on my TikTok video. Still can't believe you have a 7 o'clock graduation. That's wild. No, they announced that? Who'd they get? Who'd they get? Nah, that's not it. Wolves? That's got to be good, right? I don't really know who these guys are. Man, Heretics of Paper Rex? Yeah, that's true. I don't know that I've watched a minute of these guys. How much better do you think this team is if they have tens over Bang? Where are the betting odds? This? Wow. Really? You don't think so? So you don't think there's that much of a ceiling diff between bang and tens? I'm gonna respect your knowledge of the game and not argue. We got to cut him, Soft. We got to cut him. Sorry, bang's got to get cut. Yeah, that's true. And he clearly don't want it. My man is playing tier 2 like a boss. Like a boss. Yeah. I think it's probably the coolest NA Valorant story. Some consider him the GOAT, and he's just gonna go play tier 2 like a boss. Ooh. But he's no longer a sentinel. Now, did he have to no longer be a sentinel so that he could play for Qbert? Oh. All right, so did you hear this stat? Apparently, Well, WNBA was on ABC, MLB was on ESPN, but the WNBA game was a blowout, and it still had more viewers than a Yankees Mets game. Sorry, I'm getting over being sick. Man, I just watched the whole play of basketball. They didn't dribble once. Man, I'm gonna have to stream with Joel at some point, man. I've asked him multiple times about his homeschool experience. I cannot get a response. We'll have to stream together, Joel. All right, let's see what else we got here. I really wonder about AMD. I'm not telling anyone to buy anything, but I am very intrigued by AMD. They've been getting trounced by Nvidia for, let's see here. When did it reach its 52-week high? It is such a huge run if it gets back to its 52-week high. And why wouldn't AMD get into the AI stuff? Like, this has to be what they're working on. So far, I was right on Tesla. Could be right or wrong about this, but this is one of the more interesting big stocks to me. One of the more interesting big stocks. This is a big one right here. Bro, the modern human is crazy. 1,900 square feet for 5 people is not enough? Bro. I don't know how to word this. I've seen like 8 people live in 1,000 square feet. I know it's crazy, Maniac. And I know that's not ideal. I'm not trying to say that. But people acting like 2,000 feet or 2,000 square feet is somehow not a gigantic house. Yeah, I know they're bigger and all that sort of stuff. Wait a second. My income 500,000 on target annually? They earn $1 million a year? What is this? I have equity. Man, they make $1 million a year, and they're gonna buy a $2.5 million place. Interest only options. Oof, those are bad. What do you mean buying them? Like buying them for other people, or just buying a house from somebody? Yo, I mean they're making $1 million a year, like literally making what, $80,000 a month, $70,000 a month. Yeah, this guy has the money for sure. A $9,000 mortgage payment is not going to wreck him. I'm super confused. This guy seems like a very tight with money, and I don't get it. All right, good. Comments getting them. Man. Now, I think the biggest concern, actually, though, is when you get into something like this. I think the big concern when you get into something like this is now you're locked in to making this kind of money forever. This, when you're making that kind of money, is freedom. True freedom. One of my biggest pieces of advice for anybody, whatever you get qualified for as a mortgage, never take that out. Never take out the top end of what you qualify for in a mortgage. Never. Never. All right, so now the question is, do we watch Are we watching Chet's Pets now or what? Yep. It's actually, it's not hard once you go back when you're rich. It's hard to go back once you started spending. There are a lot of people, as a financial advisor, you would run into. They literally spend 60 to 80 grand a year. Okay, good looking out, maniac. They spend 60 to 80 grand a year, but they make like 800 grand a year. It is the most mind-blowing thing talking to people like that. Those are also the people who are most scared about running out of money. I'm like, do you plan to spend 50 to 60K in retirement? They're like, we might go to like 70. Like, you have $8 million. You're fine. You're fine. It would, if you went broke, that means the entire world is in serious trouble. You're okay. You're okay. But dude, you see stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah. The people who are fearful when they shouldn't be, I like those. As opposed to the people who are broke and act like they're rich. Those people drive me nuts. One second, I gotta blow my nose again. Okay. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name there in TikTok, but welcome. Welcome to the TikTok. I gotta remember this. 0, 8, 10, 30, 7.5. Like, this is very doable. I get it when you're 18, it would probably be very tough to contribute 810 a month. By the time you're 23, 24, you could probably start doing that. If you include 401k and all that stuff as well. Lisa Marie, welcome. I'm a financial advisor if you have any questions. Woo! I get 400 grand a year. actually relatively low savings for someone of that caliber. I mean, 29 to 30,000 a year, or I guess maybe 40,000 a year, is good, but 10% is not high when it comes to retirement. Unless your expenses are going to be drastically low in retirement, this 500 bucks a month is not terrible. I don't know, but for someone making this kind of money, I don't know that this savings rate is going to get them where they want to go in retirement. Hefty mental burden. Dude, I wish this guy would find me. Come and talk to me live right now. Drop by, ask me a question, let me help you with your finances. Man, the vertical. Hey, what's up, B-boy? Oh, let's go, Maniac. Let's go. Hey, are you willing to drive? This might not be worth it to you. If you're willing to drive to Arizona, I have two places that could probably give you a banger deal. But depending on how much it costs to drive from Cali to Arizona, it might not be worth it to you. But great computers for great prices. I got two places here in Arizona. Ah, I'm so sorry. I gotta do this again. Ah, okay. That will you'll get a better deal if you're building it yourself, for sure. For sure. My TikTok from today has almost 1,000 views. Let's go. For a Ryzen 9 7950 RX. I mean, I got 64 gigs of RAM. I don't know the speed of the RAM, and I got the Ryzen 9 or whatever. I spent like 1,800 bucks pre-built. I literally have it right here. I have not installed it. I don't think I've showed you guys this. This is my wife's computer. This is my wife's computer that I have not set up yet. It's still got the plastic wrap over it. That's a pretty good girly computer. I don't know if you can tell. That's pink. We still need to get a desk and set it up. It's got it, dude. The case is kind of weird. I've always had like the longer rectangle. This is like a square or a cube. The tower is a cube. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a great little computer. What's funny is I bought my wife her first computer. Like she used family computers and stuff like that. But yeah, there we go. There we go. Dude, when you upgrade the PC, it's funny because my old computer I didn't think was bad. I was streaming on it and all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hold on, I gotta end. Let me end my TikTok because they're gonna freak out if I do that. I gotta end it on my tablet beforehand. Still not started yet? All right, that's good. That's good. Let's go to VCT. Pew! Is it going to be NA? No. Is it just Valorant? No. Okay. What is the Val channel that this is on? Yeah, it's Valorant North America. Why isn't this working?
It's a new dawn. It's a new life. It's a new life.
I don't think so, Yuli. It's such a weird time, man. I wish I could, but it's at such a weird time. Alright, I should take go live. End it now. So, alright, I ended my TikTok. Oh, is that why I keep getting the error? It's trying to reload my... Alright, I need to add another source. Give me a second here. This is Val Americas.
The truth about DIY is you never...
Rename. Val Americas. Now I need to actually get Val NA. Add a browser source. New one. Val NA. Add source. Do this. Post that. What is it? 1920 by... What is it? What's the other measurement? My desktop sound is way too loud right now? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Wait, how? Why? From what? What is playing? Pause that. There we go. Hey Slayer, what's going on, man? I apologize. It's not bad, but I like the new one so much better. Yeah, that's true. I apologize. My headphones are not on right now. Let me turn them on. I would like to... Oh yeah, that's really loud. What's weird is, why isn't it showing this? $1920 by $1080. Are you guys seeing just a question mark? I'm super confused. Okay, I don't understand. There we go. I found out today that Charles Schwab has its own broadcast network rather than cable, Schwab Network. I'm trying to build up a list of financial broadcast television networks to watch, like Schwab Network, Bloomberg, and CNBC. Okay. Tell me why, Slayer. Why do you want to watch that stuff? Even though I'm in this profession, even though I'm a financial advisor and this is what I do, there we go. Question mark on my bald head is perfect. All right, let me interact with this. Maybe I can. So this just isn't working, is what's going on. That's weird. Okay. It was useful for work. Okay. Okay. I mean, if that's giving you some benefit, I just never look at that stuff because, remember, they're trying to get people to watch, right? So they're trying to invoke an emotional response. Why is... What is happening, man? All right, looks like I'm not doing it through a browser source. I have no idea why this is not working. But that is not cool at all. Not cool at all. All right, we will cancel this. And let's do this. All right, how's the audio now? Yeah, it's a question mark. I don't know what's going on. So inside of Streamlabs, wait, you streamed before. Have you ever used? Oh, boop.
My only concern.
There we go.
though,
I turned off audio
with
altogether
this
because it was so loud
is
for you
that
guys.
The only flash that they're going to have to rely on is.
I mean, I like it when they don't talk
website
politics all the time. I mean, a lot of them talk politics, even if it's like subtle. But you're right. The politics stuff makes the finance stuff hard to watch. All right, now we got audio.
And then also have technically, I guess, two different flashes that they get to work with Giza and Victor. So that is where my concern lies: is how TSM are going to look to counteract a lot of that.
Have you seen? I've seen Sage picked multiple times.
Try to work off of what they have.
Yo, no initiator. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Very quick pace, but I don't know. Like switching it up for TSM
That is wild, bro.
Is really interesting. I do like it though. I mean, the double sentinel definitely seeming like they're going for. I'm gonna assume more so of a defensive side kind of tactic. The double duelist, I don't know. It feels so strange to see because I'm so used to like that double initiator, double controller.
They like Vise, Yuli. They like Vise.
Composition out is quite interesting, and I'm hoping. I mean, it works out for them because this is.
Vise does seem to be kind of like.
Probably one of the strangest.
I don't know, picked pretty decently.
They played with the original composition.
Nobody wants to play Vise, man.
Swapping over to a no role.
Giza's like, I gotta play Vise.
I'm excited to
Or
see
maybe he's excited.
It's
Who
gonna
knows?
be a lot of fun
Who
between
knows?
these two.
All right, I'm gonna try this
A
again.
lot of great players. So let's
North
not wait any
America.
longer. Let's start to get into the server and split as players are ready. And
So it's weird. The audio is working, but not the video.
So wonderful, so nice
Why?
and silly. And Jen, take it away.
All right, I'm gonna mute it one more time. I'm gonna interact with this. There is no way to refresh this. F5. Nope. Oh yeah, none of these are working. This is weird. Okay. All right, we done. We're done with that. There's a few maps that Vise is pretty good on. I've seen her picked, but I've seen Sage picked weirdly like quite a bit. He just got called out. Thorns are alive. Woo! TSS and get waxed, nerd. Oh yeah. Sorry. Turn it back on. Pew! There we go. I've actually gotten quite a lot of good book recommendations from one of the Bloomberg journalists I know. You know a Bloomberg journalist? That's kind of neat, man. I dig that, Slayer. I dig that. Is the volume good on this now?
Hey, let's slow things up and throw out salvos at the very beginning of the round, and they just want to fight instantly into like some heavy firepower and some double dive to say, look, we're going to control the tempo right off the rip, and already coming in with the kills. They almost get a flawless going to this one.
Oh, all right, Slayer. Yeah, so I don't have anything against.
Weapons to work with. Sim has a rifle already.
Woo! How do you make it out? Oh. Oh.
And it starts off well again. The first blood's going TSM's way, and Sim's just unleashed. Now he has more bullets to
Oh,
shoot.
let Raze plant.
Farm up orbs.
Yup.
Guess what? Kind of deja vu. Kai's the lone wolf, and it's TSM that
Really?
got into playoffs with that.
Yeah, so hey Slayer, I'm different than most people. Even when I worked at Vanguard, I didn't really look at the financial TV shows because they were irrelevant to what I wanted to do and the future. The only reason I actually Victor is buying an op, a naked op, round 3. Okay. I mean, wow. Yeah, showstopper already. That's crazy, bro. Oh wait, Jets Pets. Never mind. That's naked op. Never mind. That works. But I only liked the TV shows because it allowed me someone to talk to. Or I'm sorry, allowed me to. Oh, yeah. There you go. Wasteful. Wasteful, dog.
Towards heaven, but at least having eyes, and that's Victor for 7, I should
Yeah.
say. Watching ramps, 3-man push from Chet's to go on a flank. And the
Dude.
crossfire from TSM, and GMD holds that down. Nothing to say from Chet's Pets, and this is.
Sim is the most hot and cold player in the game. He's either a beast or a bum.
To kick things off, even on that first rifle round.
And very nerdy to start as well. Yeah,
So he
Marv
started off as a beast. Wait,
I don't know if
they're showing
I don't think necessarily he lost weight. I think he
Marv,
lost some height.
the top of Marv's head here. Okay. All right.
I was like fully focused into his screen, just trying to save his weapon. But jokes aside,
Oh yeah, I need to
super very
change
good.
all
Yes,
my
not
stuff
only
to
into the
Valorant.
showstopper, the good reads on TSM with the conditioning, but it's also Vora putting up his wall at the very beginning towards the attack spawn, so that he
Valorant.
can actually play on top wall and actually observed into the windows to support Sim into the entries on the site. So I kind of like that TSM are still cooking something moving forward into
Hey,
a
there we
very
go.
traditional composition on this double dive on this map.
Yeah,
So,
FaZe Marv.
assistant coaching
I remember when I
coming
loved
maybe
Marv.
building up something here with MBS as the main
I miss the
coach.
old Marv day.
Working dividends so far.
Straight from
On
the
their
go
side,
Marv day.
Here for Chet's Pets, you're kind of just guessing around still, and their stall plays hasn't been working out too well when they're playing this double sentinel
Man.
composition on their side. Because
Sim
of
just-
the, well, I call it
or
sentinel
GMD
because they run the
just-
Viper, but they don't have enough util to really just stop the players at the entrance
Yeah.
of the sites, just owning them with the rifles.
Dude, the most fun,
Just one
I think-
rifle from Marv, the
yeah,
first
dude,
one,
Envy
and
and
TSM
Optic.
consistent
I miss Optic.
playoffs. They want that deep run.
Although
They
Optic
say
became
flat
NRG,
playoffs.
right?
They
But
had the capabilities of beating a team like Hubert Academy,
Dude,
going to map 3,
that first era of Valorant was, you know, kind of ugly, but it was so fun. But I really do miss like Yay. I wish they would have run those dudes back one more time. Get Marved, Yay, Som. What's his name? Oh man, the guy who just retired. Finesse.
GMD pushing through garage, the Jet watching behind, and it's Bao this time. I can start off Pets on a good foot, but as soon as Bao
Bro.
picks up, it's just out in the open, and Vora.
TSM is shooting today.
And it's Chet's Pets that have to
Yeah,
control.
Chamber was a little oppressive though, but
It's an easy plant.
yeah, man, that was such a fun era.
On the post plant.
It was gonna be very difficult
I
to
wonder
do
how
this.
Valorant would be different if they never did franchising.
And Seven's in a great spot. Here's the footsteps. There's a kill.
Another day at the office when you watch TSM, like everything is so.
Yeah, that's true. Post-plant meta sucks.
What happens if it-
I would prefer a much more aggressive in-your-face meta than...
Pushing, who is watching what, and how, once the spike explodes, where do we stand? Like, there's no panic, and yeah, that's good to see in the first match of playoffs, especially in a quarterfinal.
That's the important thing too, on how there's no panic coming out for TSM.
Look at Victor,
Because
looking
if you
like he
look
just
at the
woke up, man.
execution From how they entered towards that B site, he kind of just went solo towards the area. Everybody else was kind of stopped by a snake bite, which was beautifully placed by Bao.
You better watch yourself there, son. You better watch yourself.
Slows and pinches towards the back of the site. So they're still meticulously.
I'm gonna screenshot that and tweet it.
Playing against an anti-eco. If there's more players swinging out, you just place
The one from a few days ago, Yuli?
Walk into you. And Vora, you just saw the two openers that he trades out after losing Sim in the first place for TSM, and now they're uncontested so far. So
I didn't see the one that...
you're seeing
I didn't see
some
Tarek's
pretty
response to
reads.
it, but...
Look at round number 5. Another op coming out here for Chet's Pets. It's at the wrong side again.
And it's on ramps too, but all depends if Seven would even want to peek that. TSM showed already so many phases.
Yeah, right.
Of depth in their strategy. It's only been 4 rounds, but they've hit B 2 or 3
Oh,
times. Yeah, that's
that
a
was your
fight
play.
wall that Chet's Pets have, and this isolates
Don't do it,
Sim
Marv.
in the first pistol, so TSM are aware of this. There's thorns on.
Oh yeah,
top,
they're
so-
leaving. Yo, Root TP'd all the way across, bro.
Let's go somewhere else. Let's check out mid, which was successful for them last round.
This is a big dub to start things off, though, because now you force the pivot. You're able to stall well enough with the Vice util. And you didn't really have a lurk moving forward here for 7. So this gives a chance here for Chet's Pets to really be in a good spot to fight for Male, and they do so with the first opener from the Iceman.
Yeah, Marv is going to back away as TSM take a step back after losing 2, and the op had already rotated to B to watch over garage.
Oh!
TSM just bulldozed their way with just a Jet with a shotgun. And it's TSM that were down bad, and...
Alright, what's map 2? What's map 2?
Things are looking quite
Yo, and they res?
right back, and look at that, even the res with the cherry on top.
GG's.
Pets to go for the retake. Unless they get some quick openers right here.
Oh!
It's doable now.
Oh, and they believe it. The Nightfall 2, GMD tries
Yo! I take it back.
with 4 to
Child
6.
Protective Service is gonna win, baby.
Barks louder, and finally Chet's Pets get on the board.
Oh my god. Okay, the IGL has to step up right now for Chet's Pets. He has to lead by example and has the cleanest shots on that retake. As I mentioned, they had to be the cleanest takes to kick things off to give a chance here for Chet's Pets to start going on this retake capability and possibility towards this B site. And for those players for TSM, I mean, the fundamentals are still there. They still swung you in the right moments to try to trade out as much as they could, and you were just so quick to readjust from target to target on the side here of, again, Caillou. Look at these shots. Isolated, even that second shot there onto Sim, or Recoil even. Very, very nice. But already off the gates, looks like TSM does want to give a chance here for Chet's Pets to get their footing. They're already looking for a full execute here towards this A site.
Using this early Cypher
Caillou won?
get eyes on ramps. Of course,
I know nothing.
The op was there last time, but they're always expecting someone to be peeking, and Chet's Pets aren't the ones to pop out immediately as barriers go down. A lot of
Sentinel's gonna get rid of
very reactive. It's TSM that have been setting the tone and probably would have been up 5-0 if it
John.
wasn't for Caillou hitting a 4K. I don't know how many
Exactly.
miracles Chet's Pets can really cook up though.
So far, so good.
Yeah, as soon as TSM
Oh.
want to break through from vents, from main,
Gonna break all through to the other side. Break all through. Break all through.
And Recoil's the last player standing, has Blade Storm and an outlaw to work with, does damage. That's 2 players super low, but Victor is able to answer back from the top.
Woo!
That was close because look at the HP.
I was gonna give the community 5 subs if he pulled that off.
And maybe it was doable there for the clutch for Recoil. That said, you see that he's quite quick and able to get some good shots yeah, there's a reason why they picked him up as a ranked demon from the ranks, because you know most players playing ranked are just gonna play duelist anyways, and then goes into this composition, this team with TSM playing a sentinel role pretty decently well, but now with the again the compositional changes coming out from TSM in the playoffs. He's doing a good job here on this Jet. Unfortunately, not enough though, as Chet's pets are finally starting to find some sort of footing here.
Oh, well, who expects an op to be that close and that personal? GMD aggressively peeking. We usually use more passive in Garage, but now testing the waters. Prowler goes to Garage
okay,
because
Recoil going with an op
starting to
on
TSM. But TSM are ones that like to wait out smokes. Ash talked about on the desk that they don't have the greatest initiation tools, not a lot of flash.
Gonna get one rush.
Blind, so missing out on GMD is gonna be really tough. And Recoil with an op peeks past the smokes and gets Chet's pet's attention, mainly Caillou. And this is a power position that TSM want to challenge this time.
And that's what you're looking for here, where you don't have the initiator utility, just for your Jet to move forward. Get out of jail free card with a dash, gets a pick through to
Not a sub.
smoke,
All right. Hey, what's up, Keenan? Welcome.
As they drop a lot of
Hey, are you watching the portrait or the landscape version, Keenan?
Protect Evan's side, so I love the re-pivot from TSM to try to re-hit towards the A site. That said, though, they don't have the read that there's actually the Vice playing towards A. So Chet's pet still has a great position here with these two players on A site.
And with all that garage control, I'm surprised Chet's pets aren't getting the confidence to go for flanks or to really push. It's taking a lot of time. Meanwhile, TSM take full advantage of the right side of the map, and it's a paranoia from Mark.
Back out,
He's
back
handling
out.
it on its own. The right side smoke allows him to just narrow his focus.
No.
The two-man stack, but Mark couldn't vanquish yet. But Chet's pets rotated.
As long
in
as you
time.
don't die, you win.
Seconds left, not enough time to play.
All right.
Catching up in the score.
And the help from Heaven on top of that.
Wow.
No more smokes to block up towards Heaven.
All right,
It's
so
towards the,
landscape.
for
It looks
players
good.
inside the east side.
Thank you, brother.
And
There's
Caillou once again stepped
they're
down,
pushing
popping
the
off.
portrait
Already
version
adding
more.
3
So that's why I
points
asked you.
in a row here for Chet's
Like my
pets.
portrait version
After
gets more views than my
an
landscape
amazing round,
version
a triple
does
kill coming out
every
from
day
Caillou
for
on
whatever
that
reason.
retake with Bao on a 2 versus 4.
Man, my favorite players.
The momentum, from TSM so far, who don't seem to.
I probably got
some
Sam.
because they still have money to work with. They still want to engage with this type of aggression that they're currently playing with. But now it's just making sure that you're watching.
Man,
your back and
Zekin.
paying attention to when the smokes are down or. When
Is this
the
like
Russians
all-time
are
players or
Chet's
players
to retake the site,
right
because they're
now?
playing a little bit more passively than usual now.
Victor being able to keep the op is important. You're starting to notice that TSM, when they have the credits, they
Hey, life is good, Keenan.
have that as oh my god, I
Oh.
thought that was gonna be a collat.
Yeah, that looked like a collat.
Traded. Sim still stands. And he smokes through TSM try to play it as patient as possible.
All right, Tens,
Now
Zekin,
is covered.
Som,
Set
Aspas.
his sights. Spike could be pushing Garage, where GMD is aware that sometimes Chet's pets like to play up close. How the smoke dissipates.
Man,
Kind of a
Zekin,
stalemate.
Tens.
Uh-oh.
Pieces get in place.
Some
TSM
ass
generating
pass.
Shots, the roundabout recoil starts to put pressure. Got the paranoia.
Who? What am I missing? An IGL?
All out recoil, but trades are there, and TSM begin their push, especially with Sim on the high ground. On Overwatch, it's Chet's pets that have to go through the backside.
Derek would probably be that fifth. Yes.
Oh, the steel garden too. Chet's pets.
There you go.
Now trying to deny some weaponry.
That's big, that's big.
And get the memo that the rest of TSM wanted to back away and just wait this out. So numbers are equal, though. Chet's pets leaving up to a
Oh! Bow!
About in time, and Bow will get the defuse.
Bao was able to stop the fuse of
A
the
fragging
shot.
IGL like FNS. Listen, I imagine FNS is like in whatever world. He's like spirit animal in pro. You got to feel good when FNS gets 13. You know what I mean?
But because we have consistent plants and
That's like me when I'm on your team. You just got to feel good. If I get you 13, nice.
We're into the
Nice.
for econ, and we still haven't figured out.
Yeah,
how to
all right, so
really close out these
Derek,
rounds.
Tens,
The very strong
Zekin,
start that we've had on the side of TSM.
Som,
We're gonna call it
Derek.
down here.
There's TSM
How's that
starting
team
to
doing?
suffer against those
I don't know.
controllers,
That's the vibes team
and
for
on
sure,
top
though.
Of that, there's a lot of obstruction and not a lot of ways to kind of put the ball back in their court.
Keenan, how are you doing, man?
Be able to spam flashes on the
Life is good.
inside, and Sim isn't exactly exploding in because sometimes there's a vice wall to worry about. Or
Wait,
you
Derek
don't
twice.
have a
Okay,
Sim
hold
that
on.
can immediately follow up, so
Let me go back in my order
it's a
here.
more tempered
Zekin,
approach from TSM,
Tens,
I'm sure the
Som.
will find a good balance.
Yeah, so far I think that both teams
Uh-oh.
have
Derek,
found their
I already
footing
forgot it. I need to write this down.
here because that 4v4 that we just saw for that
Som,
previous round, the fact that they were
Tens,
still just defaulting on the side of TSM in a 4v4.
Derek.
You saw that Chet's Pets were pushing forward for garage control because they couldn't really find real information anymore towards the map. So you're holding your strong side to try to gain more map control so you have a better read around the map, and you're just fighting back and forth with both teams. I think so far the protocols or even the macro from both of these
Aspas.
and it comes down to these last second.
Who am I missing?
So
Som,
far,
Tens,
it's been
Derek,
Chet's
Aspas,
taking the upper hand
and
in scenarios. When we first kicked things off, it was normal to see this.
I'm missing somebody.
TSM was just
Now I gotta think about
down
this.
with the firepower that they had versus the anti-ecos and whatnot.
Oh!
Now Victor with the up continues to be a bane.
How did he hit that? Did he not shoot that through the box?
These rounds.
Yeah, with the light shields, that elbow's just gone for good. Can't hold a gun without an elbow, so TSM will still try to lead through past the smokes. Maybe even wrap through vents. But
I wish
hasn't
he's
made a whole lot of
FNS
space.
5
Not
times.
sure if his camera got to see anything in ramps. Not seeing any presence doesn't inspire a lot. And with the
Yeah,
open
maybe.
garage,
Because they're not on
some
land,
teams
right?
just kinda hang back, but with all this free mid control, this is TSM that could try to collapse, but they gotta search where Caillou is.
Oh, it's too
One
bad they don't
way
have a
from the
nade,
nightfall
bro.
as well to
Could you
mention
imagine
the
that?
drift. Chestnuts have a lot of good options, and it'll be up to Caillou to stop this tidal wave of TSM looking to break this win streak out of Chet's Pets. There's the dash though from Recoil. Caillou knows there's more around the corner. He's playing around his own pits, and even without
That ult
they
is
unite.
unnecessary.
The Nightfall comes out immediately from Caillou, and it's just overwhelming TSM. Just all the smokes and the pit really made it hard for GMD to synchronize with the rest. He's alone against 3. Dropping the op would be nice, but yep.
Yo, I'm missing? Who was the 5th player I said?
Went off guard with TP on top of the box.
Som,
The
Tens,
saw
Derek,
the boss
Aspas.
and got that pick, but I gotta say, so
Oh,
far
I gotta
it's been
change
quite nice for
my
Chet's Pets to really hold their defensive side because
stream
we're losing a
here.
little bit of like activation, I'd like to say, from any movement over towards the A site. Yes, 7 always starts over at that spot, but I feel that there's not enough engagement here that really forces players to look for information towards the A side.
Zekin! There it is.
The arc rules
Thank
are
you.
Here by the Vice. He's throwing out here the flash for information for Giza. He doesn't see anything. He still has his full Vice util.
Boom.
There's a Viper walls too to the lay on top.
That's my 5.
There's just not enough going out for TSM here to force players from Chet's Pets to really force their hand forward. That said, though, I mean, it kind of made sense that it turtled back up. They still had the pet, sorry, not the pet, the pit towards the B site, and TSM just unfortunately couldn't get in.
Viper's pet, yeah. TSM still to look to where this op is, because it's been a problem, and Victor's changed his position every round. TSM gonna do the same thing of dropping down, and Chet's Pets just watch it happen, and just trip them up.
Hey, so is Chet the actual coach for Chet's Pets, or is this a joke, or what is this?
The Chet's Pets have such good timing on when they strike. It's immediately when TSM drop, and they're so discombobulated that it's almost a flawless
Okay,
round.
so you were a little bit surprised by the 4-0, right?
Outside of maybe 2 rounds ago, when
Chet's Pets is probably the best name in
all
Valorant.
just on Caillou's
No doubt about it.
How confident they're feeling, not that they had the
Yeah, dude.
clutch
They
game.
went with no initiator? That's wild.
Pull out a timeout despite them losing 4-0. And then you start seeing them coming back. You see her on the side of TSM that they called the timeout for MBS, and Chet's definitely going to take advantage of that and say, look, let's continue to play a little bit more passively. TSM just walking into our own crosshairs this time around because the lack of util and that only flash that you have from GMD doesn't really activate recoil and sim yet on the XX. And finally, we're starting to see a little bit more towards this A side.
Oh, boy.
More activity from TSM, and they're gonna
Oh!
push
Oh!
the lucky part for the op, but not allowing Victor to teleport out is at least a silver.
Run, dog!
TSM equal
Run, Caillou!
With ramp being pushed, the Prowler
They only have one
lands
flash,
for
and it's a
recoil.
blind?
It allows Chet
Yeah.
to escape. The paranoia from Chet Pets
Okay.
again delay more. But TSM, they
What do you think? Does Giza have a shot for this?
Right on top, 2 versus 1. Giza's about to surprise
Oh my
GMD, and this is a tough situation.
It's gonna get
Not
right-clicked.
knowing where this last sentinel could be. Should be expecting it to come from the other side. You know the thorns in the wall have been on the other side. Recoil versus Giza.
Oh!
Welcome, Giza, but goodbye for
Man.
now, as Recoil finds the win for TSM.
Man.
Definitely
Hey,
his first
Keenan, are you still on the YouTube?
with this 1v1 against Recoil? And coming from almost making it to tier
Break
1
on
before he was playing with
to
the
the
C9
other
Academy,
side.
he also had good numbers.
All right, so
his rank games. His Twitter is literally.
I'm gonna
ranking
test
ranks,
something
so
real
he-
quick. Don't be mad at me.
He could bring a lot here to the table. Just unfortunately here, there's still that experience that shines through.
Man, so the audio works, but for some reason you get that.
But you saw how all the trades
Weird.
were perfect for both
All
of
right.
the teams. It went back and forth like Christmas lights until he.
Wait,
came
why are
out
you mad?
with
What happened?
one. I'm loving this split that we're seeing so far from both of these teams.
I love the cameras because I swear to God that guy just went for a fist bump with no one else there. But you know, the thought is good. TSM,
The self tap on the back there from Recoil for sure.
you gotta pat yourself on the back for a good play sometimes. Bao's gonna have a good edge on top. As TSM approach from main, there is some forgiveness with the Resurrect. Heaven control, and Bao didn't react in time. Gets shot in the back, he's traded. TSM are down, but at least they have sight control with smokes and trips in place. And this could be good. That trip in the middle of the smoke could get Chet's
It
pets.
activated, and now
Shot
I'm
for TSM.
enraged.
And with Recoil in a good spot, I like this post-plant setup from TSM.
The big thing they have is
Oh, look at
Paranoid
that
to
trip,
flash, but
bro.
they're Not really
I'm stealing it.
working to get finally. They're sitting up there. Paranoid to come out, trip to slow them down, and here's the hit.
That's pushing together,
Yo.
and Recoil knows no one's on the flank and goes forward with the
Yo.
kill, but as soon as he turns
Yo.
around, there's more problems, and Giza has made
Child
his
Protective
mark.
Services is
And
doing a
it's
good job.
7-5 half for Chet's Pets.
So they went 7-1 after losing the first 4.
Reflood back towards the elbow because Marv was not going to get any effect out of his paranoia until his teammates finally moved aside, and they were losing some crucial time until finally there. After Recoil got spotted out, you still had power numbers on the side of Chet's Pets, and you end up winning a 4 versus 3 retake, and also winning the half. And that was a great start from TSM to kick things off, and then you had so many unanswered rounds to come back here on the side of Chet's Pets. And now on the defensive side, it might be a little bit harder for TSM this time around because you're playing double duelists. You're probably going to try to keep them both together and try to fight for some aggression at the very beginning. But if not, the main stall is going to still just be Vora at this point as your Sage. I guess 7 could also help out.
Yeah, and there's just so many threats from Chet's Pets with the smokes, the vice wall, then Victor always buying it up. We'll see if he does on up.
No, it's just halftime. Oh, do you mean just like during the half that they call one?
And
I don't think so.
Manage to get any punish there. There must have been nades, a snake bite, a lot limiting the movement of Chet's Pets. But now that that's gone, they hope to pave their way through ramps. They're gonna
Oh, no way!
Recoil, and it just gets 2 through the smoke.
A double head dinger.
No recoil on that shot.
Jeez. And while they're gonna recoil back, Chet's Pets only have Bao in a 1 versus 4, and it's TSM. They're about to win yet another pistol, so they're good in the early half, but how do they
All right,
develop
let's
from
see what
there?
happens. Let's see
You
what
have a
happens.
Crucial point, actually, Lemon Kiwi. The fact that TSM won first pistol and he still lost the half 7-5. It shows how Chet's Pets, when the money is right.
I know it's a black screen. I have to change my YouTube category.
What we've witnessed in the first half.
Go
TSM
gaming.
winning these 2 pistols is definitely going to try to keep them in the game.
Valorant.
But I saw from that pistol round great map control at the very beginning. That TP
Close
across
that.
from Victor to already make it out towards screens to clear out the site gave a chance there for Chet's Pets to really move in. If it wasn't for that lucky shot from Recoil, maybe we would have seen a way different story on the side of this pistol for Chet's Pets. But sometimes you will have to count on luck, and you'll take it any day for TSM to try to come back in this game.
Ooh, an outlaw buy from Recoil. The last second, buying down to 0. Just getting a read that
Hey, thanks,
what's
Maniac.
going to happen today, but it's really just to get the orb. They sage wall, and now they can stack the left side of the map. Chet's Pets aren't making too much work through garage. It's been a lot of mid control, and with the trip set behind from 7, there's a sense of security, especially with Vora having a slow orb. That Chet's Pets are going to be really stuck trying to push such a narrow hallway.
Jeez, man.
They just get this.
That's at least 3 kills through spam.
Yeah, cages, trips, slow orbs. This is just a no man's land. Chet's Pets have an obstacle course, some hoops to jump through, and even trips through the front door of garage. So Chet's Pets are going to have an easy entry in, but they can just take their time to deal with this util. slowly but surely, Vora has to challenge one by one. Now the assistance of Seven, as all the focus was on Vora, Seven becomes the hero. And Seven, or TSM,
Woo!
with the better weaponry, make quick work of that anti-eco.
I thought there was a moment with Caillou picking up the Phantom that it was definitely doable on their side. Because it was a heavy investment coming out from
Yes, it
TSM.
was.
2 rifles, an outlaw. Losing a couple of weapons here going into the next round could have started allowing Chet's Pets to really take advantage earlier in the second half than anticipated. That said, though, everything calmed down. TSM was able to close out the anti-eco. You can see here, it's just another one of those moments on the side of Chet's Pets. It's just unlucky, really. You got killed through smokes on the pistol. The second one there on your own eco. Now at least you have money to work with.
Prowler, but no detection there on Seven. The shotgun up close, catching Marv on the teleport. And look, that jump away like a rabbit. Seven escapes, but then he unburrows. And Chet's Pets get their revenge, and they get a leg up in this round.
Bao kind of looks like the Cloud9 guy.
Even out in the open, he's still deadly.
Forgot his name.
Chet's Pets haven't had an advantage that seems too secure now, especially with the defense watching from above.
Yeah, and Recoil also did some pot damage over to Victor, who only has 10 HP after being shot in the chest.
I think so. Sounds
the
right.
HP is actually very much in favor of TSM here, especially with the Sage still alive.
Okay, the swing out from Sim will do it on his own if needed. Now they have to wrap through the back line, try to access Chet's Pets, but they just fire back. It's Caillou versus GMD, a familiar 1v1, but this time won by GMD.
All right, TSM back in the lead.
Yeah, this time there was a little bit less of funnies coming out from TSM in that 3 versus 3. There was a lot of Sim doing his own thing, in a good way, that is, because he's just using satchels at the right moment, breaking crosshair placement as he pops, and just tries to go for the 1v1 fight. Won the first one, lost the second, but his teammate wasn't really close to him to go for the instant trade. So GMD was in a position where he had to try to clutch. And he did, thankfully, on that 2 versus 1 towards the end. Seven was nasty with that one, too, to just run through the cages in the wall to get that pick. But that said, that is what repeats from the first half. They win pistol, they win the bonus, they make the economy quite difficult here for Chet's Pets to work with. Although this time, Chet's Pets, because of these plants, they can still muster up a stinger buy and maybe turn things around.
That Prowler not catching Seven was crazy, so Chet's Pets.
Oh boy.
Push going through ramps, all thanks to this Viper's Wall from Bao, and it's going to put a lot on Recoil's shoulders and Sim as they combine together, trade back and forth, but Chet's Pets do clear it, and on most...
You don't even look left. You don't even look left, Giza.
Now without Giza, without mid-control...
A geezer wouldn't have cleared that either.
Options, but also you need to support your spike carrier, so we'll have to regroup eventually.
And couldn't even pick up a weapon, too, after they dropped 2 players on the top of Evan. So that, you're right. You have to start having Caillou breaking the trip, sell this rotation so that Bao can get the backstab. The timing might work out if they have the perfect read here. But so far, it's not even planned for Bao. So he's just looking to isolate some fights here from the top of Evan.
One enemy remaining.
Even using the haunt, kind of a distraction. And then
that
Chet's
timing.
Pets, Bao, the timing of the wraparound from TSM, and now it's, again, kind of a deja vu of TSM start the half with 4 in a row. And this is the point where CPS could take a timeout or just start the comeback. But it took a Caillou 4K for that to kind of spark things last time.
Exactly. And this is what you wanted to see, at least from TSM. I was talking about the funnies that weren't perfect previously there on the side of TSM, but that time it was. Went for that double swing to instantly trade out Caillou, and then you just play another, like, 2 versus 1 back into the last player remaining. And Bao almost had that pick onto GMD's rotate, but, you know, you feel that pressure that you have to try to fight against a player that's going to defuse.
Why is it just NA that's having a problem?
The timeout that is needed here on the side of Chet's
We were
Pets.
torn apart at birth. That's dramatic.
Dude, this is so weird. It's literally...
Meta, there was a lot of the Sim Satchel forward around like the breach fault line and the Teo salvos. This time around, there's that lack of utility, but they're still playing into like these aggressive scenarios that you just saw, for example, what Seven did with the Bucky through his cages in the wall, and then also the double duelist on the pistol round that played at the entrance of the A site. So that maybe could be some sort of a tell coming in for the side here of Chet Spence, that there is some sort of early aggression coming out from the side of TSM on the A side first, so you could control somewhere else at the beginning. And looks like it's going to be middle first. A 1-3-1 to kick things off, and Rico is going to get tested.
Just the bottom shoe. Not the cushion. Not enough. Chet's Pets, though, trying to chase after this op potentially, but knowing its presence is half the battle. You got the lurk from Bow. You got kind of a 1-3-1 setup. Who can find that good opener, especially with vents open? Not any presence, no contact from TSM as they just hold the perimeter and allow Chet's Pets to come to them.
Especially with Caillou getting legged at the very beginning, he can't be as aggressive anymore, especially when they have the Nightfall to work with here on their attack side. And there you go, finally engages the split with the Nightfall.
Well, that's a clone that was shot, and TSM are going to have to back away, leaving Heaven control, and Chet's Pets leave someone up there. This is going to be such a good power position with the smokes in place, too. This is going to be a solid plan, but TSM, will they be able to prevent it? Now with a Heaven push, Bora against Marv, a great win, an important one, and allows the res onto Sim. But
Nice. All right, got to burn the res like that. Let's go.
Keep Victor anchored.
And they knew that there was going to be somebody watching that body, and somehow the two young guns into Recoil and Seven swinging out, and even Vora, unfortunately, just couldn't get that pick onto Victor towards the end, who musters up a 4K to finish that round. But there was a key component into what you mentioned as well in that play-by-play, Living Kiwi. The fact that we shot the clone when we were hit by the Nightfall and gave up that space really allowed here Chet's Pets to flood back from the top of Heaven, catch GMD off guard, catch Recoil off guard.
I still can't believe they're showing this kid who like clearly just woke up.
To at least anchor up that spot.
These guys don't have brushes or what?
Here against the beautiful ult throw it out, but once again the IGL
Look at Victor. Look at Sloppy, bro.
For Chet's Pets. So one round separating the players, separating the teams now. And another Bucky in the hands of Seven anchoring up towards the A site.
Ooh.
And a duelist down.
And a first blood for Chet's Pets, and Dimensional Drift too could just make things a lot easier if you just wanted to wrap through Heaven, see where everybody is. But Chet's very confident with their buy and how this round is starting out, but now Victor's not even there to use the Dimensional Drift, so...
Oh, look at all the space GMD is getting. Time to rotate, boys. Time to rotate.
Gotten a lot of space, got that Viper's Wall, which has inspired Chet's Pets to go through ramp.
Wow, he just ran like that.
Place, though, it will limit their movement towards main if they want to explode in or through Heaven, and now there's a...
No, he gave it up, bro.
And from the stars, it's a showstopper.
That was actually kind of filthy.
And we yap enough about the guy, but for a good reason, could be saving this TSM team on a buy that's not as great as Chet's Pets.
Yeah, but not when
I hope it doesn't drop down on the box here.
Both teammates from St. Clair, playing together now, and it's 2 versus 2.
Oh, but kind of a split growth
Woo!
TSM, and it allows CPS to funnel their focus into Sim. Now just Seven, who's out.
Nice. Bro, that's like your worst nightmare in shotgun. You're like, they're coming to me. I have a shotgun, let's go. And then you whiff. You either whiff or you just you fire too early and give up your position. Poor guy.
You were mentioning a little
Poor
bit
guy.
in TSM's retake, and not. Well, I guess both players are just trying to find a timing to really get the picks
Always,
here
bro.
onto Chet's Pets. We're trying to
It's
rotate
impossible.
towards the B site. Unfortunately, the timing came out.
I clipped it when I got my my Bucky round.
Now that Engage is the last timeout available here for TSM.
I got a 3K with a
And they
Bucky
have
on
to
an
figure something
eco.
out, because so far, Chet's Pets have been taking control a lot of middle. We mentioned that 1-3-1 since the timeout being called out by Chet. And with the fact that we're still playing like B side Heaven and passively towards B, it's really allowing here for Chet's Pets to really flood into these splits towards this B side that really catches them off guard for TSM.
I think TSM have been playing some pretty good counter.
Your duty is not over.
Spaced out enough where they're able to shoot the Prowler before it comes in, and just finding those gaps where the Prowler isn't. Thinking about how Seven was stepping up with the shotgun as the Prowler just sailed past him, and that was a big play, taking out one of the duelists. So think TSM have had good spacing in that regard.
Yeah,
They won't have good,
it's true.
a good buy.
You just
If
are gonna
they
eat.
stack, they get
You're
a
gonna
little
eat it if they do it right.
stack,
One of you is gonna
and
die. You
that's
just hope for the
about as
trade.
much cope as
And if
I
it's a
can
judge,
generate for this round
they might get a
with
2 for
them,
1.
but It's gonna be about the long-term goals in this game.
Yep. I mean, again, it's very similar to what we see in the first half. The money's right for Chet's Pets, and it's hard for them to really gain grasp here of this map.
My man's gonna go to 1 health.
About to run into so many players and instant die. He's at 1 HP.
He can't even move.
He's trying to do what he did before when they just prowlered through ramp and ignored him, and he's getting all his health back, so this is a much better position. Who expects that? The neural theft. Wait, my cope, I'm holding on to it, and there's a deep Viper spin from Chet's Pets to stop the follow-up, the reinforcements from TSM.
Wait, that was the round? Hold on.
It was so quick. Although 7 looked cool, the rest of Chet's Pets had better weapons and a better plan.
Your cope was gone.
Hey, so wasn't...
If anything, those 7 did
Yeah,
an
that's true.
excellent job just
An initiator would have helped.
smokes here being thrown out by
Hey, so
Chet's Pets. Giving
Chet
us
was
look,
banned, right?
everything happened
Did he
quickly
just become
because
eligible
react
and
to
he's
his offense.
immediately
Playing it in Eco on the side of
Chet's
TSM.
Pet's
You're
coach?
throwing out
Or
the
what's the
first
story
side,
behind that? Am I thinking of that
the
wrong?
Cypher, so you're just hoping that the Stingers are going to catch the players off guard.
Oh.
But look at that ping coming out towards the end. Everything was perfect there for... Actually,
So that initiator just set them up.
That was a haunt even being thrown out, right? That caught
Yeah,
those
that's
players?
true.
Yeah. Looked like it. Prowler. Oh, see? That's what I mean of just being aware that a Prowler can come out.
He was suspended, and then he's not suspended anymore.
For Chet's Pets, if they want to, they feel like they're going to be combating a lot from TSM. It's not too bad. Actually, I think a Sage Wall just came out, so it's going to buy time for TSM to rotate over. 4 stacked on this side. You got the deep teleport from Victor, but I possibly isolated away. The follow-up isn't there from
All right.
Chet's Pets, so TSM have the firing squad in place.
I think it was suspended the whole first run.
For Sim to get the kneecaps of the players of Chet's Pets trying to take forward, and because of that TP across on the top, that
All right,
was never gonna
that's big for their money.
Beautiful replay.
And I don't think they know they have an op, or did he fire a shot?
Fashion of a TSM game. You think that they are dominating, and then they're losing the grass, and then it's going to go back and forth here until we finally figure out who's going to win here this first map. But now the op comes out for TSM side, and this is the first time here in the second half because Rico has been playing Outlaws instead. And we'll have to see how he's going to try to leverage that. I think it's more into that mid control. Actually, he did bring the op earlier.
So this
on,
is
right?
really weird. Watch this. EMEA loads. Valpac loads. Val Americas loads. Valorant North America doesn't load. Bro. Oh, I thought this was the next round. I thought this was just happening again. Woo! All right, they traded. Duelist for initiator, is that worth it? Wow. Ah. I wonder if Riot or whoever is running this is upset that Marv does not. Ooh, they are rotating A. Oh no!
Targets, the spike is planted. Marv gets the paranoia, but recoils in a safe position, backing away. This is good patience from the Jet. And not sure if he got heard. Giza will stay put. Standing out of the sight is Marv. Trust into Giza as this new player. Recoil deals with both. And TSM.
What a clutch, baby. What a
that
clutch.
was just unfortunate. Everything was perfect on a 2 versus 1 at the beginning here for Chet's Pets. When you had the flash connecting on Heaven, you flash even with the paranoia to try to reposition. Morph did so, but they repositioned themselves where they couldn't really help each other out. And I thought he delayed long enough with the paranoia for the second bloom to come out in the timing, so you could actually flash one more time to see if the enemy's close, so you can double swing off that. And the timing was found better for Recoil that caught really Giza off guard. And now both players, as the smoke dissipated towards Hell, so just a slight mistake, but could render very costly here because, as you mentioned, this is now map point for the side of TSM. Too easy. Too easy, says the man.
Too easy. Oh well. Just one more for TSM. And you got the op pushing garage. Something is up. The Thorns activated. He's a little paranoid on what could await him as Chet's Pets make do of all the obstacles in their way through Heaven. You got the clone of the Yoru pushing up through rafters. This is gonna set 7 back. And you got the showstopper from Sim, but it's over at the A site. Meanwhile, the war is happening at
Oh,
B.
that timing.
Pets are winning, but the Zop is still kicking, and Recoil's the only one here. He has to buy time, win a 1v1 against Bao. He has to go above and beyond and have a second breath. That's been snuffed out by Caillou.
Wow.
And Recoil was stuck between a rock and a hard place, and a good player too. Now it's planted. Nightfall, knowing reinforcements are.
Wow, got both of them.
Or will get hit. Res available. Showstopper.
Ooh, res available.
No corpses in sight though.
No corpses in sight.
Sim and Vora will make do without it. Not checking rafters though. It's gonna cost Sim's life. Vora tries to clutch and can't.
All right, we're either going overtime or this game is over. Let's go.
Another sick ult coming out from Caillou, keeping a dream alive now for Chet's Pets on the attack. That said, you mentioned the res was available, but nobody was around there for TSM to try to res up, to try to retake, at least with the showstopper, and try to close out the map here. Silver lining is that they could use it in this map, or in this last round of regulation. But the thing is like the buy isn't the best. You see, one of the players only has a stinger to work with. It worked out so well at the beginning with these cages and how they were being set up. And you saw that slight mistake coming out from Recoil. He shot the ground. I think he was just trying to pick up a Vandal. And now that he shot, he updrafted, lost his position in front of the B garage, and that gave a chance here for the attack side to push this into overtime.
Last round of regulation as Chet's Pets have to push past Viper smokes, and it's tough. We still have a showstopper, and then TSM, and that's over on A.
Man, I really like the way TSM is playing defense. Like what they're covering and all that stuff.
Prowler will be able to get deep into Heaven in that shot. You expect someone to be up here. Clone. Shot. Victor.
Big kill, big kill, big kill.
7, even while he's on top of the box, as Recoil retakes his position. And TSM won't allow Chet's Pets to get by. And the cutoff. The timing.
GG's.
Superb. Stopping Chet's Pets from getting into vents and dropping the spike. So call the attention of Bao and Giza to make do.
Kept going with bait and switches on the top of B, having Recoil gets a 3K when Chet's Pets.
If Giza and Bao win this,
save the showstopper into this round, it could pretty much be.
I'm gonna do 3 gifted to the community.
Because they now have both areas opened up. The res is about to come here towards B Heaven. It's 3 players holding up the top of B site.
Oh, the ace to say goodbye to Chet's pet.
Ba-bum, ba-bum. He had the last 7 kills of the game, right? Because he clutched the round before. Oh, no. They lost the round before. Never mind. Never mind. All right, be right back. I think the family's home. I'm going to go say hi.
Chet's Pets for making that close despite having 2 new players, and this is their first match with said players.
Yeah, and if anything, the desk was mentioned that they thought it was going to be a little bit of a puggy matchup.
Chet's Pet stands no chance against Prime Boomer Zoomers. We were undefeated during our tournament run. Boomer Zoomers cannot be touched. Who exactly was on the roster? I don't know. Right, because that night, wasn't it me, Soft, Wiz, Jesse, and Frost? Was that our 5? I'm not gonna lie, I love G. That's right, G instead of Frost, dude. That was such a fun night of Valorant, dude. The high of that. I'll probably never. That's actually why I don't like play Valorant anymore. Everything feels weak compared to winning the Premier Championship. You know. All right, I'm gonna go say hi to the family. Be right back.
Perfect day would be any day in which I'm like winning a match. I think that's plenty of good. Yes. If I'm losing, that day is not fun.
I personally just really like movies. I personally like listen to music. I love spending time with my girlfriend. So like anything that like just generally like relaxing or like decompressing in a way. Because like I said before, like my life for day to day is very like go or like fast paced or like upbeat. And so just like the perfect day, I guess, is the one where it's like I can relax and like decompress in a way. I put all those 3 things in one and it'd be a great day.
Perfect day would just be when nothing really happens. You just chill at home, read a book, go on your phone, have dinner ready. That kind of just a very ordinary kind of day. Nothing too special.
I'd say hopefully not too much responsibility, but enjoying my time with my friends, family, and being able to relax, kind of reset, get to do the things I love. Whether that's like playing Valorant with my teammates or just fully relaxing outside, no contact or something. Yeah, and then just spending time with loved ones.
Perfect day for me would be waking up with my dog next to me, looking at me like I need to walk him. So would wake up, walk my dog, go right to practice, a little bit of exercise before, and then go walk with Charlie. Come back, play some practice, win all of them because we're a bunch of scrimmers, and then go to the gym, stream, and go to sleep. Perfect day.
For me, it's like just sleeping in, like a nice little Saturday or Sunday, just sleep in, wake up and just, I like 1 or 2, go get some food with the fam and just like kind of just chill. I'm a very chill guy. I love to chill with my family and, just love to be on Discord with my friends. So kind of just like a super smooth sailing day would be a perfect day for me.
All these people would really like to give up and they don't really have that drive.
The expectation should be to win first place.
Get them to ascend.
We kind of just threw at the end.
30 seconds left. Yeah, MAD, we're winning 5 versus 3.
Look how quick this one.
Oh!
TSM and Chat's Pats, formerly M80. We knew that this was going to be a great series through and not disappointing at all on the very first map. Split going almost overtime. In the end, 13-11 for TSM, ending off with an ace from Recoil. I mean, ash, we got the drama, we got the suspense, we got absolutely everything. So that was amazing from both teams. But TSM starting up one in the series.
Yeah, they are starting up one in the series. It was such a great and heart-fought battle between both these teams. I think that the main thing that we got to look at as well is just like how momentum heavy this particular matchup was. The fact that TSM they pick up both those pistol rounds and then end up finding 4 rounds in a row at the beginning of each half. I do wonder if how this series would have looked had Chet Pets been able to kind of break that streak a little bit earlier on. But overall, I think that when it came down to that first half, at the very least, we saw how Pets they want to play like very bunkered with the composition that they're running because they have Giza on that Vice and then the double controller and PSM. They do really well in these moments where you have Vora calling for these like low contact defaults, especially finding that information towards mid and then leading into these very bursty executions that I mean, I didn't really have too much of a choice but to go for like that hyper kind of aggressive playstyle with the double dive as well, since you only have GMG available for that setup, who I think just did so well, especially pairing with some of those like flow orbs coming out from Vora to ensure that Recoil and Sim were able to find those entries comfortably.
No, it was phenomenal too, because I mean, again, adaptations on both sides, obviously something we're going to see, but I think CPS handled themselves really, really well. We got to see a lot of iterations of them constantly just holding back from being, you know, honestly, so eager to pick those fights. And a lot of the time, that's what received them the win. I think overall, it really was just a game of patience and whether or not you were willing to pick certain fights, because a lot of the fights were very eruptive down towards mid, right? Just trying to gain space and also closure as to where everybody is. So lots and lots of info gathered from both sides. But I think obviously TSM winning that battle of just being able to dominate when it came to aim and game sense for them, this, in my opinion, it has just been the best series that I could have watched from them personally, especially from Recoil. I mean, absolute demon on the site here.
You're talking about that aim. I know we moved away from the graphic beforehand, but we really got to hit home the fact that Chet Pets started.
Thunderbolts and lightning, really, really frightening me. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro.
These situations when they are down in numbers, they have players who are able to just look to even the playing ground. GMD honestly might not have had the same kind of like flashy performance because being on that Omen, you just don't have that kind of like same type of playstyle that you can go for. But he was such a pivotal player in a lot of these situations where he was finding those multi-frags, even out those numbers after Chet find those advantages. And that also says a little bit about how the rounds kind of end up falling apart for Chet and TSM's ability to claw back in those situations. I want to see, I think, as we saw this map go on, I should say, we saw Chet kind of strengthening the synergies between them within like their swing timing, their spacing and whatnot, and definitely like warmed up in that regard to those micro plays together in this first map here for our first series of the day.
I want to give a shout out and a highlight to Victor. 9 of the 15 first kills going solo to him. The solo duelist on the team. But you know what's better than one duelist? We got 2 duelists on the side of TSM and really got to see both of them just light up the server, Recoil and Sim. I mean, Sim is someone that we've really gotten to know for being so explosive and strong for the team. But Recoil going on to this jet too. Gomps, the impact that he had, like, this duo was crazy.
It's amazing too, because when you talk about the impact they had, but it's not only just with, you know, the aim and the fact that they were able to secure so many eliminations, it's also the fact that their utility usage was just out of this world. The amount of times that I got to see Sim throw the nade and completely just disrupt any sort of push coming through from CPS was way too many times to count. And it was so drastic to where it actually led to TSM winning on occasional circumstances. And I think that's where, you know, that collision really worked out well, because it wasn't just Sim holding these teams back, making sure they didn't gather sight, giving them a sense of insecurity, but also Recoil being there for the refrag potential and just knowing that no matter what 1v3 they're going to get themselves into, they're going to win it. And that's the thing. We've seen so many eliminations on the side of Recoil back to back to back. And it wasn't just, okay, well, you know, I have my team here. It's just, I am ego right now. And I know that I can secure these wins. I know I can secure these kills because I am such a good player. And you can tell it's not just, oh, you know, I'm having a good day. It's, oh, I'm a great player and this is the best day ever for me and I'm going to abuse that, which is immaculate.
I love the confidence coming out from Recoil too, because we don't necessarily always get to see him on the Duelist, but just pushing up, like the audacity of how he was pushing B main some of these times in front of Chat's Pets, I think was just crazy. So definitely a really, really close series. Ash, a lot of people really on their A game.
Absolutely. I think the other thing that we have to talk about for Recoil as well is how he's been such like a consistent Sentinel player for this team, right? Plays that role very well. The fact
Man,
that
I wish I could watch this game.
with the role swap as well. He has touched the Duelist before. He's been on that ISO as well previously for TSM this stage too. But also the fact that like we see a much more like hyper aggressive play style, and I think that the reason why I want to talk about that is because when he's on that Sentinel, he's such a consistent anchor as far as like being able to stay alive. He's not this player that's going to go and take those risks as a Sentinel player for TSM and ensures that he has value later on in these rounds, which is like a very different dynamic and playstyle from what we saw from him on that Jet. And I think it just says a lot about flexibility that this rookie player is bringing to this team. He doesn't feel like a rookie anymore, but I say that in the sense of him like getting the call up here to challengers to join this team at the beginning of this season and the growth that we've seen from him.
And I love that we got to see him already on a Duelist throughout the series, because you're right with the roles and everything else. But last time we got to see TSM on the Haven, we get to see that run back of the double Duelist with him on the ISO. Quite a bit, so there could be changes, but this one's going to be Chat Pet's pick. And when we got to see these two teams play previously here, Goms, it was a Chat Pets that was able to take the victory up against TSM. So I'm curious if we're going to get a run back of the same compositions, considering neither of them feature a Tejo, or if we will see an adaptation from either team, considering TSM lost and just all the changes that Chat Pets has gone through.
Yeah, they had some certain difficulties on Haven last time, which I'm wondering, you know, if we're going to see something different, because it was such a drastic change, in my opinion, to see Split just kind of like divert.
My Twitter timeline is not fun.
Just implementing something new for the purpose of just trying out new ideas and really just kind of testing out what they're capable of. I really did like the implementation of the double Duelist coming through on Split. I think it helped them, honestly, tremendously to kind of secure that win. So for Haven, I'm hoping, you know, if there is a certain change, because against Amadi, it wasn't their best map and it didn't really look too cohesive in terms of gameplay. So for me personally, I would like to see something different. I would like to see them kind of utilize those strengths of abusing the fact that Recoil is absolutely insane today.
It'll be interesting because a lot of changes happening with the current patch, but Ash, heading into this one, unless my eyes deceive me, it looks like we are going to be having not just the run back, but the mirror as well. So opportunity to show what they've learned since the last time these two teams have faced.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these challengers teams favor this Fnatic composition on Haven that was debuted in the 2024 VCT season. And I think looking at Chet's Pet, what I have my eyes on is the fact that we're going to see Bao slotting into that ISO here. I do think that this makes sense. Bao has kind of been flexing around between that controller and Sentinel role. We know that Bao is comfortable when it comes down to just like taking duels and whatnot as well. So also an opportunity for Marv and Giza to just slot into comfort picks for them, and maybe just felt a little bit comfortable with Bao being the one to flex on the side of Pet. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this change for Bao comes to fruition, right? Because it is, again, going to be a very different kind of play style from what we're used to seeing him on, and he's going to have a lot more agency to take.
I mean, Bao is someone who's impressed throughout the entire split, and in the first map as well. All of Chet Pets did. It was such a close map. So I'm excited to see heading into Haven how this one's going to be turning up with this mirror composition. It's time to head into Haven.
TSM blows out Chet's Pets on map 2. Then the 10's game could start at like 3:30. Oh man. Oh man. Let's go. All right. I've never been a TSM fan before. That's not true. I've probably rooted for them before, but I'm rooting for them now.
I'm excited to see how this post Tejo metas.
Let's go.
Exactly, and this is something that yes, Fnatic pulled out in the first place, but then a lot of teams have been adapting it as well. And TSM, it's no real feat, right? We talked about the recoil playing a lot of sentinel roles and then going through the duelist on that jet on that previous map, but has been playing a lot of ISO already on this map for TSM. What I like, though, about this matchup, it's a revenge match potentially here for TSM because it was a matchup when TSM played against M80. They unfortunately lost against M80. So hopefully they learn something out of that one. They could maximize a little bit more out of this composition and potentially close this out on a 2-0. But if it's true TSM fashion, we should still be seeing a map 3.
Looking forward to how TSM open things up. They won both pistols on split. They're very explosive with their openings, but it's the kind of counters from Chet's Pets that have been really interesting to see because they get on their own sort of win streak. So we'll see already a setup of
All right, let's see.
TSM towards C. Leading that charge is Sim through the left side. Now it's kind of a fake teleporting back because now there's this courtyard presence from GMD to get eyes on B. Could be a scuffle against Bao. He's going to disengage, and TSM work the map.
That's a big test coming out from Bao too. Doesn't even activate his double tap. So again, role switches coming out here for Chet's Pets, which could be, something difficult to deal with.
Sim saw him, but Caillou did not see
because they have played
Sim.
this same composition before.
This is still winnable. We got two very low.
The main duelist for the team. Bao trying to be the support player, and Giza playing what he plays best, the sentinel role to anchor up towards the C site.
So now TSM slows it down. See if CPS Chets get frazzled here.
Chet's Pets trying to cover up the gaps from those two missing players, allowing B to be walked in on if TSM would want to and converge later on. Garage is going to be given up, though, by Marv after the pressure. Paranoia. TSM step foot on to C.
GG's.
Be a flawless round for TSM if this keeps up. Marv has a paranoia of his own, waits to regroup with Victor, presses in without Victor really being ready. It won't be flawless, but it won't be good for Chet's Pets. Another pistol goes in the way of TSM.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that's actually something quite interesting to mention as well for Chet's Pets. You look on one end, the ex-St. Clair players in Collegiate being Giza and Caillou, but then also ex-Optic champs being Victor and Marv reuniting to play here at this point for the side here of the defense to kick things off on the second map. So when you're looking at it at least in terms of the macro, how you want to set up here your protocols on defense, on the attack. It might not seem like you might have the best in terms of synergy, but at least you will have it in the fundamentals when these players are playing together. Unfortunately, there was just too many players to deal with here on the side of TSM, so they get nothing out of it. And TSM, rifle in the hands of Sim Rifle himself, looking to open up here a site being solo held by Caillou.
And Caillou has no util, like a shock bolt or something to stop this from happening. He's at least going to read the clone right. Victor ready for the flash. And they're going to try and prevent this, but with the better weapons, TSM make this site very easy to take, and the whole round goes by in a flash. So yeah, Chet's Pets make quick work of that. But speaking about Bao and ISO, I mean, we sort of talk about the experience that he has on the agent, and this is just a player in general that is very quiet, does his job, and I feel like ISO is an agent. You have to be a very loud, aggressive, kind of a high fragging person to be on it. Not that Bao can't do that, but it's a big shoes to fill.
Exactly. It's in a sense that it's definitely a whole different type of tech that you have to play with here if you're going to bring out the ISO for the team. Because he's been playing, again, a lot of controller or a lot of sentinel and not too much in a duelist in a team setting. So you're going to ask for a lot. But at least Victor is the one that's going to open things up first here for the side of Chet's Pets, and even TP's out of safety to give an early clear advantage on the side of the defense when you're still trying to activate on your bonus round for TSM.
Great reaction from Caillou, and Victor always tries to shake things up on the first buy-up. I mean, he had a op in round 3 last map. TSM shock bolt out, trying to get distance Chet's Pets from the box. Now no, they're against the wall, and thought that maybe Caillou would have left the site completely. And he's still within that cage, so TSM set up a perimeter around that exit. And there's the emergence, and Caillou's really clean with it. All pings at the Chet's Pets.
All right. Next round, the first real round. Let's go.
Wow, Caillou, a true anchor for this site.
Yeah, and I thought there was a chance there for 7 to even clutch that out to at least get 1 or 2 to put Vor on a 1v1 towards the end, because that smoke that was thrown by Marv was used to be blocking sewers. And then they were trying to flood back with the paranoia. Instead of maybe trying to throw a smoke to block out towards hell so they could flood in as a team behind the paranoia and guarantee at least like trade capabilities in towards heaven, or sewers rather, when you're trying to flood back. So I feel like there was a misuse of utility, but at least you still have good shooters on the side of Chet's Pets. So really
Mute this real quick.
2 versus 3. They did some good econ damage, though, on the side of TSM. They get a plant on top of that. You're seeing that the buy is not the best for the side of Chet's Pets. At least they have a perfect stack. There's 3 players out there on that C site. Double tap already activated and denied by Vora.
There's a Hunter's Fury to open up the site, and the Guardian's at a distance, but because Caillou grabbed the orb over at A, he is a long-distance Hunter's Fury, sent with love, and that allows Giza to get a heads up. It's a more control over C with the spike down and Sim at 10 HP. Again, Caillou is having such a fantastic series with the support from so far away, and for Giza to really slot in well on this team.
Yeah, especially for Caillou, he's been on the radar and also talked about by, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the community, including even Mike's HD himself, saying, look, you have to give a chance here for someone like Caillou to really strive here in Tier 1, because they all believe that he has what it takes. Great calling. You're seeing that his heads-up plays are actually quite nice. Like, to counter out with the Hunter's Fury the way that he did, that's just off the fly to make sure that his teammates stay alive towards that C site. So very nicely done, but we'll stop it right there because there's action happening towards sewers. GMD's trying to open things up, but this should still be an easy kill now as Marv closes that gap.
Oh, just the 2 omens, but which he was still going to have their paranoia. It is Chet's Pets. And you can even see Marv wrap around, but TSM have already set up camp on B. There's a dimensional drift, I think, from Victor. He's exploring around. He's hoping to have a team that can drive with him, and he aligns with him, and it's a flawless round from Chet's Pets after all that.
Yeah. Lower buy that you had coming out from TSM. You had an opportunity to maybe try to work a little bit more towards that sewers pressure, but it was all a ruse and a fake. They did a decent job on the side of TSM to do so because they still kept 3 players anchored up on that side of the A site. But the rest of the team trying to just funnel back into B, trying to flood into the B site for a plant just wasn't enough because everything was spotted quite early by the outline in front of that B site. So Bao was able to rotate back, support the team, keep everybody back in. When you're talking about support players being Caillou, having a great series so far, but Giza on this defense as his Cypher has been doing an excellent job so far.
I'll just now a dimensional drift from Sim. He's going all over C, but he needs a team with him. GMD teleports forward. There's a split though as Pets tries to cut TSM in half with this garage control. Not a lot of manpower on TSM's side, and it's just getting worse. When it rains, it pours, and no spike, just Vora. And maybe some good vibes. 1 versus 2 is definitely possible, but Victor just surprises him. Chet's Pets are on a roll with 4 in a row.
There you go. Now you have the ex-champs having a chance to win a 2 versus 1, fight a 2 versus 1. And you saw the patience out of that paranoia, just sidestepping, waiting for Vora to stick back out and getting that pick right away. And this is a much earlier timeout than anticipated on the side of TSM so far, because it seems as though they haven't been as coordinated to try to trade out as well as they could. And you even saw in that pip, there was a fight coming in here from Bao. We were just talking about the difference in terms of what Bao could do in this new role. In the Gulag on a 1v1, when it just has to rely on aim against Sim of all players, still wins it very cleanly. So he definitely does have the aim to work with to help out here on the side of Chet's Pets to close out the second map.
There's a lot of comfort from TSM around checking out B in the early round, ending up at C, but this has been the biggest challenge for them. I think I wouldn't mind seeing TSM return to A. That was their biggest chance. They're sort of baiting Caillou into a fight where sometimes Caillou pulls out a miracle, a rabbit from his hat like he does before, kind of solo, and sometimes Chet's Pets get overly confident.
All right, hold on.
Take a 2 versus 5 on the A side. So I think TSM could try to exploit A a bit more. I think TSM thought B was possible just off the pistol, thinking, okay, there's only been 1 person there. TSM had a chance. But now that Chet's Pets are a lot more synchronized on how they're pinching into B, TSM got to explore other options.
Well, that's the thing. When you're talking about coordination, it's more on the side of Chet's Pets, definitely, because they did try to ult to get information from TSM and already push towards that front to get an instant pick. Look at these nothing's happening. Like, you're getting so many good picks coming out on the side of TSM. Everything's being red. So this timeout, I'm just going to talk over this because I don't feel like this is going to be doable here on the side of TSM. But the timeout was actually being talked about to just not tunnel vision too much into your macro on how you're trying to enter the sites, because you're just not paying attention to the second step or how Chet's pets are counteracting against you.
TSM haven't really been pushed on that A main. I mean, Caillou likes to have a more laid-back approach.
Woo, what a
TSM
swing.
know that Marv liked to play sewers because GMD has encountered him there before. And just kind of surprised that Sim is just kind of walking it down, gets first pick. It's sort of uncharacteristic. There's a lot of reliance on Sim to pull through and make magic happen for TSM. And it's still possible they're wrapping around through A to try and access this back line, expecting that they're going to be spaced out. And now Giza from just the other side is going to backstab, so who can outflank who? TSM just have recoil left, and now Chet's pets are pretty unstoppable.
Chet's looking good.
When you say they had a chance, there was still a ping coming through here from Chet's pets, so they do understand where the gaps are, what information that they don't have, and it was basically just the A choke. Because you still, again, with TSM defaulting the way that they did towards the A site at the very beginning, none of that util was broken at Giza towards C or Garage. So the only weaknesses that you guess here at this point is that they're going to be towards C or they're going to be towards A. And they read it perfectly. They still have the Bermuda Triangle set up here on that side of Chet's pets, and you just saw the ending. So very nicely done on the defense so far on how things are working out there for the side of Chet's pets. They're looking like they've been heavily practiced despite a change of roles, new players coming in to sub in last minute in the playoffs, and getting some pretty decent results.
Well, the Aldron's going to get really good information for Caillou. TSM were trying to take their time, take it one step or the other, because Sim got first pick out of just an aggressive pullout from Chet's pets. And now TSM get read like a book, so they're going to see what Seven can produce information-wise as he explores courtyard. And TSM want to have at least a bit of illusion behind them before they get into the site.
Yeah, they really want Sim to try to find an opening into the B side, trying to find something there because he has a TP already set for window. So Util is going to help them out. If they clear out and they notice that nobody's in B, they should just commit to the plan.
Twitched.
Paranoia through the left side, TSM focused through the right, but man, the firepower is just too strong from the Chet's pet side, and man, it's just butter on toast. Victor with an op just goes so well, but never mind, not so much when he's dead, and TSM had to go on top of the box to get a good angle. Seven has to play through main. ISO wall out, spike tap, TSM locking it down as best as they can with what they have left.
Oh, big.
But Bora makes it happen.
How the hell did they end up winning that there for TSM? At first, you have the initiator on the side of Caillou on split. This time it's Vora. Both of them being IGLs, by the way. And this time it's the IGL on the side of TSM, opening things up and keeping the dream alive for TSM on that post plat. Because everything looks so good for Chet's pets to just win that round. There was miscommunication at the first moment when how they executed.
Yeah, that's not a round they should lose.
The A-Link, but look at this from Vora. Yes, there was a lineup for two players.
Vora clutching it out like soft.
Reset his aim for that third kill was everything there to keep TSM in this game.
Yeah, I thought Chet's pets were making quite the dent on the right side of B site, but now it's the Sentinel of Giza that has to hold down C. Spy Cam already got shot. He's got a trip on the right side to help him stay put in garage. And TSM go unsmoked, unchecked, and Sim is alive and well. Can't say the same for Chet's pets. It's potential ace for Sim. Smarv is on his way to deliver that or deny it. Spike down. Marv has open sight lines, clone shot, presence known. Marv with no time to make a decision, no ace, but a very important win for TSM going forward.
Yeah, great openings from Sim on top of that. And you saw a little bit what was being played here for Chet's pets, anchoring towards garage, making sure that they cover that site. They have a trip that they could utilize as a kill trip if they were going to get smoked towards garage, and you just hopefully count on Bao to win his fight into the C site. Because the way that you scale here, outside of a TP in the back of the C site, there's potentially going to be like 2 or 3 more players flooding behind you just walked across. So if Bao wins that fight, he has another kill contract they can utilize towards C like they did before. And that was read by TSM. So they understood here the setup as soon as Bao has an ult ready, that they kind of play more passively towards the C site, and they still get.
Wait, why? Why isn't it good?
From Sims entries to win that
Oh,
round.
for
So
the
great
game.
heads up play. I think this was
I might have to
also
leave
well.
anyway.
Kind
Even
of
if
like
even if they
Aura
stomped him
on
right
the
here,
second
I might have
they've
to
been
go
playing
anyway.
against the defense so far of Chet's Pets. So they're very nice. You're seeing here that
I'm waiting
Sims
for
are
the
really
text
good
from the
here, so you
wife
could
to
actually
see.
through it.
Oh, is that
I
what
wonder
happened
if
when you walked down A? That one
Yeah,
time?
exactly. Or I wonder if somebody is like in an updraft or like a satchel above, like the first portion of your monitor, like the top 50%. Can he actually see those players? Just focuses on the bottom half. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
You look good, you play good. All right,
Exactly,
everyone knows that.
exactly.
I think Chespets just have to find an angle, a window where Sim is uncomfortable catching him on the walker, but as soon as Sim is standing still and has a read on you, it's so cooked. Sim will multi-kill every single time. He is just that good, and why the desk and everyone talks about him so much.
Yeah.
Huge star in challengers, but Chet's Pets are, man, so aggressive. 3 men
Free
walk
C,
down on
free
A.
C.
Weren't able to catch Sim this time. Meanwhile, C is looking pretty open. The cam is going to see it in 3D. So Giza's going to call that out. Got a kill contract that could be pulled, and it's the flank watch for 7. And GMD with him coming through courtyard dismantles the 3-man flank of Chet's Pets. So this round is looking very secure for TSM.
Playing against, the best weapon that you have now is Caillou with the rifle, but you can definitely see it here on the side of Chet's Pets. They kind of went for a force buy here. Wait, hold on. You're kind of giving this away now. I mean, you still have a Hunter's Fury to guarantee the round, but you gave a lot of your lives away at this point in the pulse plan. Thankfully, you can still buy in the next round for TSM. But that shouldn't have been as costly. He's gonna get him. He's gonna get an ace. Okay. Even if the round goes in on the side of TSM, the fact that one man was able to drop 4 players and go for a full buy on the side of TSM's camp and gives them a chance here to really come back into this game. That is a great round by Caillou. That was a little bit misplayed for TSM on the post plan, just trying to chase that last kill. And I understand they have money to work with. They're trying to just eliminate the weapons left behind here from their opponents, so that they have lower buys into the rest of the half. As I was just about to mention, 7 played that round to perfection to make sure that he gets the info, knows that there's a push and pressure coming in from the A side, and they can commit towards the C side plan.
2 duelists from TSM are being able to plant so fast too. Imagine what Caillou could have done with more time. Oh, kill contract. Thanks for getting me out of the Hunter's Fury, bud. Now Recoil versus Giza, and Recoil kind of cowers. Both ISOs out. 2 versus 2.
What's going on?
The spike didn't even get planted, or nothing was really done during that time.
Yeah, we just kind of had chaos everywhere. I mean, look at all the X's within the span of 30 seconds. So you went from kill contracts to kill contracts, Hunter's Fear on both ends, going towards the kill contract, but now it's just up to the lurk players to get things done. So thankfully,
he can hear him.
He's able to get a pick. He hears the
Gonna tell him to go see.
From C to A. So this is an easy plant coming out here from Bora. I mean, all that was beautifully played. That was just a mishap coming through,
Bang.
especially
Spike planted.
He already had a kill coming in from 7 from his lurks on the A side. You have to be aware that he could be anywhere that could hear footsteps. And Marv, as much as he has that experience, unfortunately, let that slip and give a chance here for TSM to play now a 2v1 in a pulse plan.
I like that this was a different round from Chet's Pets when it came to defending C, because TSM, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've now won so many rounds just running it down on C with a double duelist, planting so fast that Chet's Pets don't even have time to develop a plan.
Oh,
now
no.
the spike is going to get defused halfway, and wait a minute, it's going to be held! No way! This is the most TSM thing to happen!
Let's go.
You called it too!
Oh no, dude.
Okay, so when we talked about lack of experience or just maybe a little being a little bit rusty here for Marv giving his footsteps away, there was definitely lack of experience on that 2 versus 1 for TSM, because you're playing against a smoker. So yes, as soon as the tap comes through, they went for a recon dart, but it's gonna hit Narnia. It's not gonna ping anybody because Marv is gonna get covered by the smoke, and you can't ping anymore through the smoke. So you're just gonna guess and hopefully get your sprays correct, and unfortunately it wasn't. And
Dude, they
even Marv
planted
both kills
so
on
that
all
they could be anywhere,
that is
and then
that's gotta
didn't.
hurt. That's gonna hurt for TSM.
The drop
Whoa.
down!
Wait.
Tried to go in dimensional drift, I don't know, with
Wait.
7.
Was he not in the
And I'd like
ult?
to TSM punish that walkdown from Chet's Pets over at A. And guess what? It's TSM in the seaside all over again. It's peanut butter and jam. That's all you need. But TSM just, you know, don't let it get diffused this time, and then we're all good. Chet's Pets just, I think, need to be able to prevent this, not be scared of those two duelists running in for TSM. And I think when Chet's Pets do try to bite back, it's all-out chaos that TSM seem to thrive in.
Yeah, exactly. The chaos that comes through here for TSM's side. Yes, Bao can maybe get something. Last round of the half, but loses that fight to 7. Now they get the ult. This is perfect now for TSM. They'll get the
All right,
last
6-6.
one. GMD, to be able to get
6-6.
the way that he did right there was thanks to Sim's dimensional drift. He clears out the back of the C site. He knows that the site's clear. He TPs towards the back. Even on top of that, Sim's dimensional drift allows their Hunter's Fury to really push Chet's Pets away here outside of the site, and then free kills there for GMD towards the end. So despite the slight mishap out of TSM on round number 11, look at the punishment in return coming out here from TSM in round number 12 to now start a clean slate in the second half between these two teams.
All right, can TSM take yet another pistol? They're 3-0 on it so far. They'll be on defense. Always easier, but on a 3-site map, you gotta spread yourselves thin. And I'm gonna see maybe this ISO-Sova combo. Vora and Recoil swing out aggressively. Even Sim's involved too, so a lot of firepower could be coming Chet's Pets' way. And it'll be Giza that'll catch it. Meanwhile, Chet's Pets paranoia in, teleport in with the Yoru, surrounded by cages and trips, and 7 stays burrowed, but eventually found. Chet Pets are on the hunt, and man, duelists do a great job of opening things up. And speaking of that, you got Recoil in a 1 versus 2 coming over from the B side.
Perfect trades for Chet's Pets towards the end. The shield's about to dissipate, and now it's just Recoil with 74 HP and a Ghost.
Oh, I like this bait from Recoil, expecting to swing out and almost react.
That was a great bait.
There.
He didn't swing on the first bait, but he swung on the second one and got him.
To try to build some momentum off this pistol.
Definitely a very important pistol for the side of the attack for them to hopefully push this onto a set if needed be. But I gotta commend how 7 played that anchor towards that C site. Before even going into his cage, he taps his camera one more time to try to see where the players could be. Even catches Victor on a full reload. That's gotta hurt. That was a slight mistake, but at least the players came through from the side of Chet's Pets and were able to perfectly trade against TSM's hold here on that C site and get that player advantage towards the end. So yeah, you have an eco coming through from TSM. You're gambling the walk down towards mid. If it wasn't going to be Giza, it's not going to be Marv watching that push down. Even if he loses his weapon, yeah, it's a Bulldog, but the rest, it's full Bulldogs across the board for Chet's Pets. You can see that they're... Yeah.
Whoa.
The timing there, at least Marv was able to call out that push. TSM were like, okay, the flank didn't work, let's just do it faster this time.
Don't they have a gun?
Managed to land that much faster with more open sight. Now they got Garage.
There it is.
It's going to be important because that could be a place where TSM could push from along with the back of sight. Now with this trip in TSM's way, flank won't be going too far, not without notice from Chet's Pets.
Yeah, just trying to do some econ damage if you can, so you can't break this trip right away. Try to just break it towards the end or just have the players walk towards you. I wouldn't be surprised if Vora even tries to die with the Bulldog, so you can have better bonus and better weapons in the next round.
Oh, poor guy. Oh, poor guy. I've been there, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Too many targets to look at. Vora dies. There he goes. He could have a rifle going into the next round.
If he would have went with his teammate, that could have been way different.
Chet's Pets, what they prioritize on their buy versus TSM when they're playing the bonus on split, for example, the first half here. They're trying to get rifles up as soon as possible for the side of TSM. But for Chet's Pets, they went full Bulldogs, so they could actually focus more on utility to really try to get the best information when they're entering towards these sites and still have a pretty decent bonus round where they have still 3 Bulldogs carried over, a rifle upgraded by Victor, and then try to fight back against TSM's buy here.
TSM are still going to stick to their aggressive defense, but finally we'll see some action over on A main with the smokes though. TSM will get all of this free space with how
Giza's about to get wrecked, bro.
I like that Giza's just going to lurk within it. He is half health, though, but Stinger can still pack a punch up close. And instead is gonna back away, try to minimize risk, play off his cam. I like that. Meanwhile, Chet's Pets had sent their clone into garage, trying to get shots, get util thrown his way, and ultimately Chet's Pets end up at B. Only one smoke though covers the left side. Chet's Pets cover and focus on the right, but the gunfights are not really going.
No
their
way.
From TSM. Victor puts a good dent into TSM though, and Chet's Pets pivot yet again towards A.
2 kills is perfect for Victor on the side of B to pull out the rotate from TSM, so that allows for you to get the plant now for Chet's Pets. You still have a trip watching that flank.
Do you have an account on VLR? I do not. I go to it every day, but I don't have an account.
Well, 7 has better timing against Marv. Now the neural theft will give better chance for Vor and a recoil pushing through the front, especially through the smoke, dropping down, picking his timing right.
Yo, there's no way.
Synergizes with Giza. Take care of the rest. Now it's just 7.
Yo, what a play by 7. Wow, really? Alright, I might have to create one. Will they let me create one if I'm new?
There, just to stand still. Makes so much noise as he's running towards the tap of that spike, and just trust that both players will try to swing in front and not wrap around the back, and still lands both kills as they run into his crosshair. Everything was perfect from the way that he played this. Again, 7, just on the defensive side, does a great job to engage and give as many chances for TSM to win a round, and somehow they always just let it slip. And this time around, he has to clutch it for the team because that second ping, and then it just jumped out without really coordinating or re-push or re-flank or re-flood from the bottom spawn to the top window for the side of TSM. I was gonna slap them on the hand, being naughty boys here on how they weren't really running their fundies on that retake for TSM. But thankfully, 7's still around.
Whoever's on camera, they're not around. I just saw them leave the room. So, quick little tech pause there. As I was gonna wonder if TSM are panicking because they get a win and all I hear is, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, I definitely feeling that in a quarterfinal for playoffs, and how really open that throne seems with SRB not being here, and how Chet's Pets are missing 2 of their players, which obviously congratulations to being promoted to Leviathan, but TSM are expecting to win this. They are confident that they can beat anyone, and this is supposed to go their way on paper, but this is difficult.
Especially when you're looking on the side here for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, you look at YFP, they recently lost their matches too in the upper playoffs, right? So there is probably a conversation at TSM that was one of the heavy favorites when you're looking at the beginning of the season to maybe dropping down to 3rd or 4th as you saw like the run towards that mid-season. And the heavy favorites should still be Envy no matter what, but you're starting to see here with that drop of SRB, with a drop of M80, TSM's closing that gap into being able to challenge a team like Envy to try to ascend here into partnership within the next year. And you're starting to see how much it means also for this brand new roster for TSM that brought in Vora and Recoil and try to just work around this core of GMD, 7, and Sim and try to make things work. They are investing a lot to try to make sure that they have the best chances to try to ascend, especially bringing in NBS and next champs out from the ascend team, and also a veteran player going into the coaching staff such as Link. So now you're still seeing that there are still moments.
All right, so we got Caillou ult, and that is it.
No matter what, as long as
we get a Cypher ult if we want it.
No matter what.
Giza living for as long as he is means that he's denying every single flank from TSM with these trips that he's purposely leaving in spawn because TSM were flanking every freaking round. So now that tech pause is done, I think TSM just has to dial back, go back to the fundies, play this really front to back. Speaking of that, Vor has his back against the wall. He's in the corner. Dodging Hunter's Fury, a paranoia, a wrench, some bullets. Finally, he's down. And at least he's got backup. But the trades go Chet's Pets' way. Neural theft from Giza. Should be trying to secure this round, but you're gonna know Recoil's right at the front door, unobscured, and GMD could be going towards Heaven. Good paranoia, may have hit Chet's Pets, and as soon as the swing out happens, the blind is there. And Recoil in a 1 versus 2.
That's an interesting smoke.
With an
All
ace,
right.
and he ends with an L this time. And Chet's Pets.
I wonder who told Marv to put his camera down. Put your camera down, Marv. Internet's upset.
Of the Bulldogs in their bonus round. The fact that they lost their bonus against TSM but they made it very close. They could still buy a very strong round here in this round. You saw that they had 4 rifles and 1 bulldogs in the hands of Victor. And then after winning this fight here against TSM with a beautiful execution towards the A site, now TSM has a broken economy, and now Chet's Pets could get to the double digits a lot easier than expected in the first place if they actually did go for rifle buys and had a much tougher binder bonus.
7 took an arrow to the knee, but he still got a shotgun that hurts no longer. Found out what she did on Split. It's not happening again. 7's always lurking somewhere. And guess what? TSM love to flank. This time, it's more successful in that 3 versus 1, you would think. Now, that means Chet's Pets, just like before, deja vu. There's a TSM flank from A. Chet's Pets plant at C. They got trips behind. Giza will be on flank watch. We'll see what Recoil and GMD can accomplish. And if Recoil's going to want to go for a kill contract, he'd be leaving
time to go,
GMD
Recoil.
with the Sheriff out to dry. But, hey, dwindling the numbers of Chet's Pets could always be good.
Yeah, the same nature on your eco to just look for exits on the side of TSM. You can definitely see here from the change again from Tail being nerfed to the ground. Oh no, Recoil just got pinged out.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, so that's no
tough,
rifle to
almost
save in the
got
next
shit.
round.
But no cigar.
To get back to that point
Bow.
too, is the fact that Tail got nerfed to the ground. You don't really have any of those real trap plays of like fault line to a recon dart or like salvos when you're bringing a breach in this composition, right? I mean, Teo, the breach Sova is still a strong comp that you have here, even if Teo is nerfed to the ground. But the fact that none of these 2 teams are using a breach on this map, you're seeing that in the anti-ecos, Chet's Pets are leaning towards this C side a lot because you can't really walk down the tight corridor of long C by yourself or as a group because you're just going to get mowed down by rifles. So, or you're going to walk down B, or you're going to walk down towards A site. So you always keep a player in the back there for the information. So well done.
Oh, pushing past the ISO wall for an op into a teleport sim. It's way too alpha. And wait, who's this? All right, goodbye, Victor. And Chet's Pets just off the rip, really inserting their duelists well, especially with the dimensional drift. And DSM tried to stop it before it developed. Still a garage push there from 7. I could get a cutoff. Wait. Well, I guess he's pulled into something he can't escape, and 7 wins it. Now he's got 4. 2 versus 2, and 7 for the huge dub.
All right.
Fist bumps in the air. TSM are still in this.
Where was the conversation? The ulted him out in the open. He could have probably get instantly traded coming out of the ult into garage. But they leave him stranded, and now he's dropping 21 kills after those 3 kills in that previous round. So a slight mistake coming out from Chet's Pets. I feel there was too much chaos coming through, and this should have been a round coming out from Chet's Pets. I was going to mention another miscoordination of the flash to get value out of recoil coming out through the smoke. That's twice now that you're trying to combine a flash and double swing out, but the timing is not perfect because there's just miscoms coming out here on the side of TSM. But you have 7 that's able to save that round for the team.
The TSM were like, okay, let's stop flanking, let's buy an op, and just shoot them in the face. Like, sometimes you just gotta go back to just the keep it simple, stupid. So now they have Sim pushed up with the op. Could be looking towards spawn. There are trips there, of course.
He's also keeping it simple.
Okay.
Got the op down towards long C. He's got everything covered up, so everything's perfect, right? So now the rest of TSM, they can just continue to anchor up, to play more passively now, to find information towards those 2 links. Because look at how much map control they have right now. A double push down towards sewers. They have that op down towards the long C. The gaps are now curling towards long A and also towards garage and the A link. So if you stay calm right now for Chet's Pets, you're forcing TSM to start moving around, and you might now start getting caught off guard because players will start giving up their positions.
I hope this ends. There's no way it's going to be over in 7 minutes, though.
TSM like to take control. They want fate in their own hands, and they get a little antsy, start getting mobile.
Oh no.
Now with that teleport from Marv, you kind of got TSM's attention. Going towards C, dodge, Sim, no longer here. Op dropped a big double kill from Bao. We wanted to see this guy get loud on the duelist, and Giza takes care of the flank. So, it's just
That was
another 9 to fire from
the easiest shot he will ever have in his life.
Though on the top of garage, Two players walking forward.
How are they not commenting on
And
this?
unfortunately, he misses a shot and gets a shorty close range onto Bao, and Bao
Dude,
survives.
that
And then
has to be one of the most unfortunate moments in Valorant history. My man swings, sees two people, panics, whiffs, pulls out a shorty, hits, but doesn't kill him. Yo.
And that's what I was talking about. When you don't have the information of where the mid-rounding could be from the 4 positions that you had, you left those gaps towards garage, you forced the rotate outs, and then that's probably the reason why Sim missed his shot, because now he probably feels like he's being pressured, he's caught off guard, and he's panicking on his shot. And now Chet's Pets are 2 points away of pushing this to a third map.
Gotta kill contract, neural theft. So if there's any round to start flanking and being aggressive, it's this one, because this would be really important for 7 based on the judge buy, or at least some kind of shotgun maybe for 7. Just continue playing this corner, continue to play his Cypher Cam. Where he puts the trips is going to be pretty important. Meanwhile, the rest of TSM, these double duelists look like they want to walk down courtyard. That's at least not where the trips have been.
Pinged out though, so they heard the first trip being thrown towards garage, so they might be expecting more extremity control on the side of Chet's Pets for TSM. So look at the instant TP out, trying to work back towards the extremities on the side of the defense rather.
Caillou went away from the Hunter's Fury, which would be huge for the post plan, and Chet's Pets getting real close to forcing a map 3. A site looking so open too. Sim will be the one to spot in a safe position from heaven too. He's gonna flash and re-peek and knows there's more around the corner. The whole squad. No way he re-peeks a 3rd time. Sim is so confident. Recoil. I don't know if he could escape.
Yo, great play, great play.
And just the crossfire the TSM have created so
All right,
well.
great counter, great counter.
Before Chet's Pets could walk in.
My hope is that it was perfect there for Sim to just re-peek, to confirm that there was 4 more players there after he threw the flash, that Chet's Pets were committed to hit towards the A site. Which then I was like, wait, why are you not falling back here for recoil? Because you have the kill contract to work with. You could stop that push. But he was the second player playing bait. So the first one being Sim for info, the second being the baiter, so that Vora could get that double kill just the way that he did. So it turns out quite nice towards the end here for TSM. Get the information for the team. Play a little bit more selflessly, and now try to close the gap. Getting very close to Chet's Pets and tying up the game here on the second map.
Early Hunter's Fury from Vora. Again, just delay things for Chet's Pets, and even getting a kill so early, especially on the Marv. And Giza's gone too. The round just started. Chet's Pets got their duelist. The double swing. Caillou with 2 has to pick up the pieces. The spaghetti's on the floor. And it's a 2 versus 2 for a potential match point. And Caillou has to be the hero once more. Victor by his side.
All right, let's
go. To force ascent.
Yeah, and Victor on alert for that pick too, but TSM had the upper hand at the very beginning on that instant kill onto Marv. As soon as he heard the Hunter's Fury being called out, seems like Marv maybe got hit by double util or shot while being hit by the Hunter's Fury and got instantly dropped. But somehow it comes down once again to the IGL, this time on the side of Chet's Pets. One more time, Caillou opening up the site for a 3K, going for solo plays of his own, and giving a chance here for Chet's Pets to push us to the 3rd map. Second time out now being called from TSM. It's the last time out they'll get here, unless they're able to force the last one out here from Chet's Pets.
Caillou sometimes just wills these wins into existence, like he's putting in a lot of muscle when it seems like they're at a deficit. He comes out and just these multi-kills, and every team needs a clutch god like that.
Yeah.
Someone that can just turn all the odds, and will be match point for Chet's Pets coming up as we have a TSM timeout. And being able to shut down Sim is a big win condition part of that. And Chet's Pets have been ending up a lot towards C, sometimes today, but how they're able to work the map too is something TSM have to read carefully.
And it's tough, especially when Caillou has a Hunter's Fury to work with on the attack side with map point for Chet's Pets. Thankfully, though, on the side of TSM, there's no dimensional drift, so that they can combine, the Hunter's Fury on the side of CPS. So they still have an opportunity to work a little bit more now And you were mentioning the amount of times that Chet's pets like to work towards this C site. All 5 of them were looking to instantly push up on this side.
We saw how difficult it was facing off against TSM doing that. Hunter's Fury is going to press back. There's a kill contract from TSM, kidnapping 1, while the rest of Chet's pets will hold off to react to the result of that. Is Recoil winning that? And at the back site, Chet's pets will get a plant. Waiting now for the timing of Sim on the flank. We'll have to take care of this tripwire. We'll be able to teleport out too if things don't go so well. TSM on the front lines too are unsmoked, unperturbed. They try to go through garage and Sim punctures from behind, and Chet's pets
Dude, that was so weird. That was so weird.
Where the threat is coming from. So well timed out of TSM.
What a beautiful shot coming out from Sim, though. The flash to jump forward. I thought he was going to try to do some tech to just TP through the trip, but that was already a give and tell that there's somebody behind anyways. So I love the fact that he just broke the trip, jumped in front of his flash, and gets an insta headshot onto, I think that was Giza in the back of that platform. And that just engaged here and forced Chet's pet, to fight back towards the spawn. A recon dart was too much from TSM, and TSM just flooded back against them. And you were mentioning they were squabbling a little bit on the side here of Chet's pets trying to hold the pulse plant. And everything from that first shot right there, beautifully done. On the side of Sim, even stays alive here to allow finally TSM to hit double digits in the second map.
Now we finally a successful flank from TSM, just needing the right timing of when you push from the front and when you push from the flank, and even kind of having some alternative angles through garage, having the time to really develop that and not panic too much that, okay, the spike gets planted, you don't have as much time to fight, you also have to search for targets, so TSM were able to slow things down and pull through thanks to the calling of especially Sim, how they're able to synchronize in that moment, but it's still getting pretty dire. This is kind of a similar scenario to last map. It ended 13-11. I wouldn't be even surprised if we had a similar scoreline there too.
And the big thing too is you're mentioning the amount of times that TSM are going for flanks, but not always as groups. But Sim has been flanking a lot in these moments for rifle rounds. On Ecos, they're also doing it as a group. And Chet's pets after this timeout, I mean, you're starting to see it's going back and forth in terms of round trades. And that timeout for Chet is probably to make sure that somebody is watching that fight, which is why this time around, Giza is just staying in grass, staying put, watching his camera.
On where these trips are for TSM, they don't want Chet's pets to extend any further, but man, Chet's pets are gonna group up. Now on the front lines is Victor, the bodyguard. Dimensional drifts. Sim's gonna get as much information as possible. And there was the vulnerable hit. And Chet's pets, he get behind cover. And Sim emerges victorious before he's traded by Marv. And it's a 1v1 to end the map.
This is not planted in an ideal spot, man.
GMD. No paranoia, smokes galore. Now the spike gets tapped. Gonna be held halfway and past it. Teleporting forward. He's gonna be held! He's gonna get held!
The balls!
Oh man.
Balls of GMD to just hold the defuse the whole time. It was so close. And Marv played it as well as he could in that sense. Because he TP'd across, he just tried to make sure that his rifle is sticking on the outside of the smoke and has to try to swing in to try to catch GMD off guard. But it wasn't enough time. Another split second, he would have had it. But GMD's timing to just stick that defuse the way that he did and even win that 1v1 towards the end. Look at how he stays calm. Look at how he stays calm.
Is he deaf? How did he not react? That would startle me. He ain't playing deaf, but hey, you're playing also without Sim now, and that does not bode well for Sim trying to force TSM to force OT. Recon, recoil, not gonna react. He's gonna hear the clone out. He's gonna try and put a stop to these duelists. Keep some cover to buy time to keep himself safe, but you can't be safe. Not against Chet's pets.
All right, we got a game. Is it over?
How successful they've been getting it.
So I gotta roll.
Now TSM will have Bora recoil, or Bora with a recon, I should say. Shock bolts. Now just gonna spam through the smoke. How is 7 knowing where they are? The cut through garage. The clutch. A 4v5 turnaround. But wait, Victor versus 7.
Oh my goodness gracious. What an insane ending, bro. What an insane ending. Oh, Bao doesn't look quite like Vic anymore right there, but... Oh, what a game. Alright, I gotta go, guys. I don't know if I'll be back tonight. I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Bye, everybody. I love you. Bye-bye.